Like, so here's the story is that Nick hooked me up with this probably about 3 years ago. And then it took me 2 years to build it. And now that it's built, I have turned it on precisely twice and never knew what to do with it. Oh, the stream crashed. Excellent. I think our stream is back. Discord is not working. Possibly regional. Stream is back.
Good here.
It's having problems for some users. They may have to exit, rejoin the stage.
Okay. Yeah, if you can't hear me in Discord, yeah, try a full reboot of Discord itself. Yeah, Jefferson Twilight, I think this is a mixture of Twitch being twitchy and Starlink being twitchy. Although MX Shift and I did some pretty solid work of realigning my wireless bridge between the house and the shop, so hopefully the stream is a little higher quality. But I think it takes, I think the crashing in the first 10 minutes is going to be a, regardless of how quality my connection between here and the house is. I think that's a Starlink to Twitch thing. Yeah, I'm still not sure if what the issues on the Discord side are doing, but oh, weird. All right, seems multiple people are having issues over on the Discord side. I can try closing it, and I can try closing the whole stage and reopening it. See if that helps people.
That might help, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna crash the Twitch. Hey, Tempting Astro, thank you. Finally, also thank you for the 3D printer. We're gonna get there as soon as we get Discord not sucking. All right, let's. I'm gonna end the stage for everyone. So everybody's about to get kicked. Fair warning. Goodbye. Oh, that's fun. Let me close Discord and reopen it on my end here. In the meantime, the Twitch stream is gonna be real weird. All right, let's see here. We're almost there. We're getting back into it. Start the stage. Printing in 3D. Start stage. Now my audio is probably going to be totally wrecked.
I can hear.
I can hear you too now. Oh, and my audio hasn't wrecked itself.
Oh, it was good.
Discord,
Finally.
man.
Yeah, hashtag just Discord things.
Well, they started end-to-end encryption enforcement, so that's probably part of it.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else having troubles in Discord? Now that we're back up.
Yeah, now it's working again.
Okay. All right. And that burned the first few minutes of the Twitch stream, so I think we're done crashing. Oh, way to go, Twitch. Twitch streaming is not easy. It always makes me happy when I see somebody like Shelby having difficulties with Twitch too, because I'm like, oh, it's not just me.
It's not me, it's validation.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so the story so far, I got this Ender 3, I think, from Attempting Astro, Nick, who just subscribed. Thank you. And let's see here. He said, yeah, the SD card in the Pi is 3 years out of date. No, I did not burn a new version. But I do have a Raspberry Pi for it here. And I was thinking we could, I need to get this plugged into this, and then this plugged into my network, and then I don't know where to go from there. I'm guessing the Pi needs power. I may not have brought enough USB micro. I wonder if I have another USB micro. I think I need 2 of those. Oh, I've got 2 USB minis, not micros. Go me. I may have to go hunting for one here in a minute. I think I got one upstairs. But this guy needs power of some kind. Looks like it comes in via USB micro. The Raspberry Pi, I don't know, somehow you plug the Raspberry Pi into your 3D printer and then it's better.
You talking about OctoPrint?
Sure, I have no idea. I'm starting at 0 on this. Yeah,
That,
it might
I mean,
be.
like, you don't need it. That has an SD card slot on the printer, right?
Yeah, it does. But there's no SD card in it.
Well, so
yeah.
a stock
It's
Ender 3,
OctoPi.
you can drive entirely from that LCD screen and the knob there, and you just stick a SD card into it, and you can run it that way. Using the Raspberry Pi is for something like OctoPi, where you're essentially running a print scheduler. So instead of having to copy things onto an SD card, you can upload over the network, and you can get a lot more status about what's going on, etc. And then there's more advanced things you can do when you have a Raspberry Pi attached. You can start replacing the control interface effectively. But from where you're starting at, it may just be worth it to actually start from the control panel and get the basics and not worry about the Pi at all for the beginning.
Okay, I'm all right with that. I don't have an SD card that can go in there unless I take the OctoPi SD card out. That's the only downside. Is that there's no SD card in this guy. I could maybe steal it out of. Hang on, I think I got a GoPro out here. I can steal an SD card out of.
Yeah, I mean, literally all you're putting onto it is the actual G-code file that you want to print.
Apparently I've already stolen the SD card out of this GoPro.
Well, again.
Yeah. I also don't have anything to copy files onto the SD card with. So we may, yeah. All right, so.
Does the GoPro show up as a USB drive?
Well, we might do things the hard way here and do initial setup with this guy here, but then also just jump straight into OctoPi. If I can find another USB micro cable. Let me run upstairs right quick.
Set up as OctoPi?
Yeah, Attempting Astro says that it's already got OctoPi on it.
All right, if it's already set up, then, then most of the hard part's done.
It says it's 3 years out of date, but, you know, it worked then. It should work now. But I got to find another USB micro cable to power the thing. Which might require a run inside anyways.
I told you I should have just left mine there.
All right, what am I looking for? I've got CD-ROM drive. I've got like 1/8 to 1/4 stereo stuff, but I don't have a USB micro cable. All right, I think I'm gonna have to sprint inside right quick. I apologize. That means I will be off mic for like 2 minutes at most.
Message over any critters.
Yeah. But I gotta set the mic down and whatnot. Mic and headphones down. All right. What a lovely start to the stream. 2 minutes, 120 seconds. I'll be right back.
Make sure. Oh, okay. He left before I could ask him if his computer has an SD slot. There's a lot of those Asus.
I'm
computers
pretty
do.
confident it does not. And if it did, it would have a full size. And I don't know that he has a micro SD to full size adapter.
Yeah, that's true. My Asus from 2011 actually has a full size, believe it or not. It used to be 2.0, unfortunately. Is the stream still working fine? I need to open it. Yes. Hmm. Door squeaketh.
Get that microphone back on. And headphones. All right. What's up?
Does your laptop have an SD card slot in the front or the side?
It has a full-size SD slot, not the small one.
Yeah, well, you don't have an adapter with you. Okay.
Yeah, well,
So we were
I brought
thinking-
one out, so if we
Oh,
do
okay.
want to go, I brought my whole box of cables. This is all the goodies. So like if I don't have it in here, then I just I don't have it. Yeah, but I can get the Pi plugged into. I can get the Pi powered now, and then I can get it plugged into the network port. Right, but I feel like there's basic setup that I got to do first, because there's nothing in it, nothing going on here. Or should I get the Pi hooked up first?
It's going to be helpful to have the ability to move the print head around as you do some of this, because the general thing is that after you have a 3D printer move around, the rigidity of the frame is pretty wobbly on these, and so you actually need to check that the bed, like the y-axis, the axis that moves in and out towards you, is 90 degrees to the x-axis and the z-axis, which it probably is close. It's probably not like you need to check it really, really hard. But then the next thing is bed leveling, which is going to be a real pain in the ass. Just, it always is.
Okay.
It won't be too bad because you're used to it. So you take a piece of printer paper, or maybe green bar, and those screws you're messing with now, that raises a corner of the bed. And in general, you want just a tiny bit of friction. It just should be touching the paper between the bed and the nozzle tip.
Okay.
Well, I was there and watched how good Usagi is with actual feeler gauges. So if you actually stick, you're literally using the paper as a feeler gauge, but if you can actually use a feeler gauge, You're just trying to get a known distance where you know the print head is off the bed, and then you're moving ideally what you do is you move the print head over the center of each screw, and you try to get it so that when you only move an X and Y, and you don't command the head to move up and down on the Z, that the distance between the nozzle and the bed is the same. So you're trying to get the bed flat relative to the motion of the XY gantry.
Yeah, this is the same thing as me machining the 2x4 flat. Only I can't
Precisely
machine
the
it.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're tramming the 3D printer essentially.
Yeah. So if I use a feeler gauge, like what thickness should I be going for?
About the same thickness as a piece of paper. I actually don't know.
20 thousandths.
Well,
come
so
on.
that's the thing. If you're using an actual feeler gauge, the size doesn't matter because whatever you set it to, you then adjust your Z offset parameter to be that.
Oh, okay.
So there's a software parameter. It's just that you set based upon the actual thickness.
Oh, so I can just do like 0.1 millimeters and then just set that in the software.
Yeah, people often use a sheet of paper, and that's roughly 0.2 millimeter.
Okay, I can go to 0.2. I think that one's probably in better shape. My feeler gauge has been used and abused.
Yeah, but this is helpful where when you power it on, you should be able to control the motors and basically drive the head to any location instead of trying to move it around by hand.
Oh, I
Yes.
gotcha.
The other thing is check, make sure all the switches are in the right place and haven't been broken over the years, so that when it homes, it doesn't smash.
Yeah, I don't, okay. So I'm in the menu. I don't think you guys can see that. That might be a little heavy on the glare.
Yeah, it's a little washed out. If you get closer, it might auto. The
Yeah.
iris might correct for it.
Trying to get an angle on it there. Oh, well, the iris corrected, and now you're just getting a wonderful reflection of my overhead lights.
Well, with the reflection, it actually worked. There we go.
Yeah, that's about as good as it's going to get, I think. I've got a real light spot in the middle of this display, like maybe something fell on it at some point.
Well, where'd you have it stored? Heat also does that.
Behind a TV.
Oh, yeah. Who knows? It might get better as it warms up.
It's fine. It's readable.
Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to go to I'm guessing a menu here. I can go to control, and then motion. I've got velocity, acceleration, jerk, steps per millimeter. So this is just like setup stuff, not for actually moving it.
Correct. You're in the settings. There's a different. I think actually the motion was on the front page, isn't it? It's been so long since I've used the actual controls.
Yeah, when you were moving the knob a second ago, it was changing the coordinates. Just
Yeah, well,
on
I've
this
got
one.
so it says XYZ and it's showing 0 and then question mark for all three of those. So it hasn't homed.
Right. You're correct. And I think okay, so I think you go in the menu and you go to the prepare menu.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there we go. I got a move axis thing. And then
Yeah,
I've
you
got
should
an
have a
auto home. Yeah, auto
Yeah.
home. Now is it going to try and go down and crash into the bed? Well, it shouldn't. I can see the switch already. There we go.
Yeah, it should have a Z-axis switch as well on the default config. And that's what's his name? Attempting Astra said he couldn't remember if he tossed a BL Touch, which is a touch sensor that replaces the Z switch to act like it becomes an active probe for finding the Z location.
It looks like it just has a limit switch on here.
Yeah, so that's as it shipped.
Okay. So now we've got X, Y, and Z at 0. So then I can go back over to prepare, move axis, and I can go move X. Maybe. Oh, I can I can go in 10 millimeter increments. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's fun.
And so the fun thing to start with is just positioning the nozzle over roughly the center of where a screw is.
Yeah.
Where one of the bed screws are.
Does it have a leveling routine where it'll move it to those places automatically? I forgot.
No, this was way before they did any of that stuff. That's one of the
Okay.
nice things if you move the clipper, it'll do that for you. But
And by the
Alright,
way,
not
those red,
OG.
those fancy red knobs you have, that's the upgrade.
Yeah, Attempting Astro sent a bunch of upgrades with this thing. It's like the bed's been upgraded, the knobs have been upgraded, the whole feed mechanism back here has been upgraded. Ooh. Okay. That's one set.
Yep. 3 more to go, and then you find out that as you change the other 3, it changes the first one.
Yes. that's how it always goes. All right. That one's already pretty close.
Do we want to do slicer stuff, or at least start just proving it out with a pre-sliced G-code file?
Didn't these ship with a built-in Benchy?
It was on a card that was in it.
Good.
Oh.
Prepare screen. Let's move axis. Move Y. 10 millimeters at a time. Let's go all the way back to about 200. Ooh. That one ground on the backside. All right. I mean, you can almost eyeball it.
You almost can. In practice, first layer adhesion is a huge problem, and it's almost, well, very often it comes down to, is your bed actually level? Like the first layer that you print, so the nozzle diameter is usually a 0.4 is what's shipped on these, so 0.4 millimeter. And you usually are printing half that as layer height. So your first layer of plastic is only 0.2 millimeters thick. So getting it within a tenth of a millimeter is actually pretty important.
I mean, that makes sense, I guess. Oh, man, I don't know if I'm going the right direction.
And some of the printers would move as they started to heat soak from that bed. This one isn't so bad.
Well, that's not great. I don't think I can get that one low enough. What's going on with that?
There's a spring. Is it hung up?
No, it's just fully bottomed out. And go the other way, maybe. Yeah, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. No, it's backwards, but... Yeah, that's loosening it up, which means that we're going to be, like, fully stuck. So yeah, I gotta bottom this one out to barely get enough clearance.
So you may actually have to move the Z up and then readjust them all.
Yeah, that one's fully bottomed out, and it's just got just a tiny bit. Let me drop down to 0.1 millimeter here. See what kind of clearance we actually have. Oh, okay. So we are clear. 0.1 slides under with ease. So maybe I set everything to 0.15 or so. Which means I got to go through and reset all the other three. Yeah, that's just pretty much exactly 0.15 on that back corner. So we go.
Whatever approach works for you, as long as you end up with the same amount at each screw.
Yeah. So I'm just going to come back up to the front here and adjust it to 0.15.
And by the way, the stream actually is holding up much better, it seems.
That's
I still
good.
get a bit of jitter here and there, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be.
I mean, it took us like an hour of sitting on the roof holding a cell phone up, hoping for the best.
Yep.
That was far more finicky than I thought it would be.
I don't think I took any pictures of what that setup looks like.
Well, once you're close, it doesn't take a whole lot of turn on those big knobs to move a big distance.
No, but as Adam mentioned earlier, as the bed does thermal expansion from prints, and with the original style with the springs and knobs, it'll go out all on its own. So you start getting tired of doing this.
The nice
Like
thing
that.
is the BL Touch, I believe, plugs right in, and you can it essentially eliminates the need to do this.
Having a printer that does this automatically has been a huge benefit.
Well, hey, first person to put up enough of money to buy a BL Touch means we'll switch over to a BL Touch.
I mean, I think I need to have enough 3D printing projects to justify that.
No, I mean, everybody's right. It really is a huge quality of life improvement for using a 3D printer. And they're not terribly expensive, but the point being, upgrades are easy to burn a lot of money on. And if folks want to donate, great. But otherwise, you got what you got.
Honestly, I'm running a Bamboo Lab printer. I'm like, there's a lot of valid criticism on those printers, and I see where people are coming from. But I have had a really, really, really good experience with mine. It's been running for well over a year pretty regularly with no trouble. Except for the filament management. That thing, I've had it tangle and snag filament and jam up several times.
All right, so my bed is not great because this back left corner always seems to hit. So I do think I need to bring my Z up a bit so I can re-level it correctly. Because even though I brought these up, that still is. If I come in a little bit to like the center of the screw, I can get the right clearance, but it still isn't quite right. I mean, that implies that this front right corner needs to come up a little more. Maybe.
I can't tell from the video, but that looks like it might be a textured build plate.
It is.
Yeah, so I mean, you're always going to be a little bit off with those. In general, the bed is not perfectly flat. It's not even close. It's not uncommon to have 0.1 millimeter variation over the surface of the bed. That's another reason that the VL Touch makes a big difference, is you can actually just tell it to probe a matrix of points over the bed and sort of calibrate out the warpage of the bed. But you're going the old school way, so yeah, you're going to have to find whatever Z height works, and then we'll have to adjust the Z offset to get a good first layer. It just takes more effort to get it set up the first time.
Well, we'll try it this time and see how our first layer goes. And if it's hot garbage, then we'll fight that battle.
Yeah. Oh, it will be, but that's okay.
If you're gonna get hot garbage, it's better to have too much, too high and bad adhesion than to have it not coming, have the nozzle touching and it not coming out at all, because then it'll back up and clog in the nozzle, and that's a royal pain in the butt.
Or
It is.
worse, you'll score the heck out of your sheet if you have like a bed sheet in between the actual bed surface and the nozzle.
Well, let's give it a shot and see what happens. If it all goes wrong, then that'll be a learning experience.
So as long as you don't remove the magnetic bed sheet, you'll be perfect.
I already removed it.
I'm joking.
Am I supposed to remove this yellow sheeting on the back? I don't know what that is. I don't know. Maybe a tipping astro can chime in.
That's the smooth surface, I'm pretty sure, that is on the other side.
Definitely will peel off.
I don't know.
My first inclination is yes, but probably not until you're actually going to use it for the first time.
I mean, it's pretty sticky underneath there, like tape.
Oh, yeah, that's for mounting it so it doesn't slide around.
Oh wait, is there a magnet on your bed?
Yeah, there is.
On the bed itself? Is that just another magnet that's stuck on the attachable sheet? Like, could that, rather than peel off the tape, can you just peel off the magnet from that?
It's not I mean, I think this is so you can like tape it down. If you don't have a magnet.
Don't need to. I don't know if you're meant to. It might be just giving you the option of removing it, because if you stick it down, it's there forever. Taking it off and being able to flex. Is it flexible at all?
Not much, but a little bit. Probably enough to break the 3D print loose, but
That's it. Yeah, that's what I'm asking, if it's meant to do that or not.
Attempting astro. I don't know what the PEI is. Is that the print bed?
Yes, that's the print bed. The print surface is a polymer called PEI.
Yeah, there's nothing on there that's like removable, but there is a magnet on there. So the gold sheet here, or either, I don't know, one of them has a magnet in it. There's a little bit of magnetic force to hold these two in place.
Well, let's work on terminology briefly. So the part that's fixed to the printer is the heated bed, and that should have an aluminum plate or a PCB plate and then a sheet magnet on top of it. And then the piece that you've removed is the build plate, and it's got the textured surface on one side, and we're just not sure on the gold side if that's a peel to stick or if there's a magnet stuck to the back side of that when you're pulling off the gold sheet, that's actually the back of another magnet. Because I don't think anybody's quite sure, and I don't know what material that actually is. But PEI, yes, it's a plastic that they make the textured side is made out of.
Okay.
So the question is, you have two magnets. Can you tell if there's two magnet layers stacked there?
Not a clue. There's some magnet. There's some insane clown posse. How do they work magnets going on here? But it's not very strong, and but it holds the bed in place just fine. I just didn't know if I needed to remove the thing to make it sticky or not.
Well, I think what folks are asking is whether there's actually ended up being two magnets stuck on top of each other, because there might be one attached to that removable piece. But it doesn't really matter.
Oh my gosh. All right. I never realized that. It took me a long time to figure out what you guys were saying. That'll probably give me all the clearance that I need to get my Z set up correctly. Okay. Wow, I feel real dumb now. All right, looks like we're doing Z stuff again. Z zeroing again.
There we go. Yeah. So that what you just removed there is the piece that's designed if your bed doesn't have a magnet in it,
Gotcha.
which some early printers don't.
Gotcha.
And,
Not needed anymore.
Yeah, and so that'll have an adhesive back on one side that you can actually stick down to the print bed, or sorry, to the actual heated bed itself. That will give you that magnet to attach the print sheet to.
This will make it a whole lot easier to find zero.
Yeah.
But it means I got to do the whole process again.
Yeah. And you have an extra magnet to slap on any non-metallic surface and make it a magnet. A really weak magnet.
Yeah, I was gonna say the bed now sticks really well. So apparently the double magnet thing was not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I can tell you what the weak sheet magnet is useful for is when you've dropped something in the carpet, you know it's there or about where it is, but you can't see it. And you just drag the sheet over it and it will move it enough, if not pick it up outright, to where you can get a better look at it.
All right. Okay.
AJ, you're here way too early.
It's true, but don't let that stop you or fool you.
What are you doing awake, man? I know what time zone you operate on.
Just trying to acclimate, that's all.
We're in here a little too early.
Well, look,
It's that time
10:30.
change.
Yeah, because that pushes me this way, not the other way.
Right.
I'm honored you noticed. Thank you.
There we go. All right. Back up to move axis, move Y, 10 millimeters, all the way back to 200. All right. This makes zeroing the bed so much less stressful because the things aren't totally bottomed out now.
Yeah, and 2 layers of rubber isn't fun to zero over.
I imagine it wouldn't have gotten very hot either.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the bed is supposed to heat up, right?
Yes, it is.
There we go. That feels right. Pair, move axis, move X, 10 millimeters.
Move zig.
All right.
God.
Yo, one quick note that I found very important is the print beds are extremely sensitive to finger oils.
Okay.
That's not a huge deal with like PLA, but other filaments like PTG and stuff, they will get mad at you if it's not perfectly dry.
You can just run over it with a rag and IPA, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, but
generally
also,
not-
but also no.
Yeah.
Wait, you're not but okay, what I normally do is heat it up a little bit and then wipe it off with a monofilament cloth and IPA.
So some of the surfaces are fine with that, but not all of them are. So like
Yeah,
if your surface is
alcohol's
a
kinda hit or miss.
PEI, if it's a PEI surface, the best thing is actually just hot water and literally Dawn dish soap.
If it's not working, another last shot that's worked really well for me in the past is Windex.
That's good to know because I like to put my hands on the PEA sheet when it's cold outside. Maybe I should wash them.
I
would
know
ask
people
why,
that
but
have.
then- but then
I know
I fear
people
I
that
would
have-
have an answer to something I don't want to know the answer to.
People have baked grilled cheese and pizza on. I mean, 3D printers are allowed on college campuses, but hot plates aren't.
Oh gosh, that's so cool.
I'm not joking. That's a thing I've seen.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can. I suppose, yeah, you could push the bed of a 3D printer to 90°C and like very, very, very slowly fry something.
Hey, grilled cheese is grilled cheese, man.
What? You never heated
Cooking
soup?
hot dogs on our Ender 3.
You never heated soup in a coffee pot?
I have actually.
This guy dorms.
This is just you get one right and it pushes the other three off.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to keep making loops.
Yeah, once you have all four approximately okay, it's also not a bad idea to stop in the center and see if the center measurement makes any sense. Although I suppose that wouldn't work with your feeler gauge.
I can get a little bit of twist on the feeler gauge and get it to the center. I mean, I do that on the mill all the time.
When you do get sick of this, you can never have to do it again for only $25 to $35.
I don't think I have enough 3D printing projects lined up.
Let me put it this way: the amount of time you will save versus the amount of 3D printing projects that you will inevitably get frustrated with because you couldn't get your first layer height right. That calculus balances out real fast.
Well, and now that you have a 3D printer, you never have an end of 3D prints to do for the 3D printer.
Fair enough. But I am gonna laugh in all of you guys' faces when I get the first layer height perfect on my first go here.
Oh, that's
Them fighting words.
The problem isn't getting it perfect once; it's keeping it that way because the damn
Exactly.
thing will drift.
Yeah.
Yeah, drift
You
is
can
a
get
lot
it-
easier to deal with than I had it a full half a mil out.
Oh, don't worry. You still have
Yeah,
to
there
learn
we go.
about the joys of Bowden tubes.
Yep.
All right, so that's I'm happy with that.
Oh, I just realized this doesn't have the little hanger for putting the spool on the frame, does it?
It does. It's on the top.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I see it
Yeah,
now.
you
Okay,
can't quite
it's
see
off
it.
the top of the frame.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's zeroed. I'm happy with that. What's the next step?
What I
Suddenly
like
it gets
to do,
very quiet.
well,
We're trying to see
you
how
have
much
it-
how much we should torture you. If I think the next step would honestly be load up filament, and if somebody has a
a pre-sliced a file, essentially what would come on the card, then send that over if you do have a card to put in there.
So
Yeah.
well,
Throw this G
so
code
now
in
that
and
you have
see
the
what
spacing,
happens.
now that you have the spacing set, the thing that I usually do is print a like 50 by 50 millimeter square or rectangle, and that is exactly one layer height high. And that's a print that you can use to gauge if the Z height offset is correct. Like you get to play a little fudge factor and see what it actually needs. Because you actually need the plastic to squish a little bit into the build plate for it to adhere really well. And that is just kind of an experimental thing. There's no easy way to set it correctly every time. But getting you through all the slicer software is kind of, I think, where what folks are trying to avoid, because that's a whole topic on its own.
But can I not just plug in my OctoPi here and then drop G code onto it and then send it?
It's getting the G code is the problem.
Okay.
Well, no, we can get a G code file, I'm sure, but the OctoPi should work as well. If the problem is not having the SD card, I'm sure you'll be able to get the OctoPi. I personally don't know. I've never used one, so I don't know how that goes, but I'm sure other people here have. What would be the bigger thing is, we don't want to jump into learning Slicer. That's like learning an entire CAD package.
Yeah, I just want like if I have OctoPi, I can just like so yeah, I just want to get a file. I could just get a file onto here, right? I mean, I could pop the SD card out of here and plug it into here, I guess, because the Pi has an SD card in it, right?
It may not work. It's probably formatted for Linux.
Oh, yeah. So why don't I just plug this in, plug it into the network, and then we're off to the races.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, the reason everybody's fretting about a slicer is that the slicer is a piece of software that takes commonly distributed STL files and turns them into G codes specific to your printer. Almost nobody will distribute G code in and of itself because there are so many parts of G code that are specific to the printer that you would have to make thousands of different G code files to satisfy everyone.
Which Ender is that of the many Ender 3 versions? Does anybody know?
Pro.
3 Pro. But so to answer Suzerain's problem, like whether I've got the Pi hooked in or not, like I've got that same STL to G code problem. I have to have a G code file, right? So that's a problem that's irregardless of how we're getting the file onto the printer, right?
So yes and no. Generally, folks don't share G code files because a G code file, just like if you run a model through FlatCam for your mill, it's now set up specifically for your mill. And so you want to set it up for your Ender 3 Pro. Now, most slicing software has a preset for the Ender 3 Pro.
Yes.
So pretty much anybody can pick up any piece of slicing software and make a G code file for you, but it's just like you can't go download a G code file for you because they're not available.
Yeah,
Right,
that's why
but
we're trying to figure out if you've already got one. That way we don't have to screw with all that.
Right, which is what I want to interrupt with. Nick has posted a G code file of the Usagi Electric logo sliced for the Ender 3 Pro in Friday Night Twitch.
There we go. Yahtzee. Sounds like we've solved the problem already. I just have to get it onto the machine. And if I just plug in my little OctoPi here, then I can just SSH or I don't know how you copy a file over it, but we'll figure that out. There's enough Linux nerds in here to tell me the right way to do that.
There's enough Linux nerds in here to tell you 5 different ways of doing it wrong.
I can also
and then
Google
argue
it.
about it for an hour.
No, there's enough, to find 5 different potential causes before all of us simultaneously realize the problem is DNS.
All right. Do you have some Aquanet, Dave?
I don't know what Aquanet is.
Hairspray.
Hairspray.
Why would I need hairspray?
You don't, but back the first layer adhesion was so important that we got crazy with chemistry. People swore by purple glue sticks. They swore by Aquanet. There was all manner of adhesive stuff being used every print.
I don't
Be
know.
happy
Sometimes
you
with,
don't
like,
have to deal
really
with that.
stubborn
Yeah.
filaments, I have had excuse me, I have had to use like hairspray on even on my A1. It still needed some extra stick on occasion. It's
Yeah,
not normal.
I've heard the
Sometimes it's
glue
needed.
stick trick. That's funny.
All right. How come my LAN port is not lighting up?
Is it connected on the other end?
Oh, there it goes. Just the Pi is not the fastest thing on the planet.
No.
All right. So we've got a
What is
G-code
that,
file.
I4?
Yeah, there we go. So we've already got a G-code file going on. Let me just download that.
Hey Nick, how long will that take to print?
Yeah, that's the other nice thing the slicer does is it gives you a time estimate on how long it'll take to print, which is always about 2/3 of what it will actually take. So it's motivating until it isn't.
Take a picture of the benchy that one of the kids at the camp I worked at for a little while gave me. It's pretty funny.
Now I gotta find the thing.
Somebody needs to crack out a benchy with bunny ears.
I got something better here going in the Friday night.
Well, actually, Dave, do you know what a benchy is?
Nope.
It's a very cute tugboat. That's a lot. It basically
Oh,
is
yeah.
test
Yeah,
print.
I've heard of that. All right, 192. 192 is what it is. So what do I log in at? Is it root? Is it admin password? How do I get into this thing?
It should be running a web server, so you can actually just open it up in your browser.
Oh, fancy. I'm expecting we're doing stuff through the terminal over here.
No, you're not supposed to SSH into things anymore.
Yeah, well, I just okay. Is it not the IP address? Do I have to go to like a website or something?
It should just be the IP address. But you may have to check that it didn't put HTTPS. I think it's only HTTP.
Oh no, it's just dumb slow. Okay.
That could be too.
All right, here we go. All right, let me see if this works. Let's turn you on. All right, you guys should be able to see that now. Thank you for using OctoPrint. This wizard will guide you through the final steps of your OctoPrint instance. Yes. Do I want to update? You are about to set up OctoPrint 1.8.6, but 1.11.7. Is the update going to take forever, or is it fast?
This is a Pi. Everything is going to take forever.
Can I update later?
Yeah, if this was known good as it was, I wouldn't update it now.
Okay. Would you like to restore OctoPrint configuration from a backup file? No. Access control. I don't particularly want to put a username and password on it, but I suppose I have to. Mandatory step. Great. All right. Guess I'll go with admin.
Security god.
Usagi.
All right, it's admin. We do admin stuff. Create account.
Man, your ultra unsecure network. No password on the Wi-Fi.
Ooh. Your Raspberry Pi is reporting insufficient power. Switch to an adequate power supply. Apparently,
Oh.
my laptop cannot supply enough juice for the Pi.
Correct. You need
Oh yeah,
2 amp.
Well,
yeah,
that's fun.
I wants at least 2 amps.
Do you have your cell phone charger that you can grab at least?
Let's see if I got one in here. I mean, that's going
Make
to turn
sure
the
it
whole
does
Pi
more than an
off.
amp.
So, do we want to finish the setup before I do that? Let's see here. What does this one do? Nope, that's 5-volt 1 amp. How about you? Also 5-volt 1 amp. All right, how about this guy? Five volt 2 amp. Okay. So can I just cancel out of this and then unplug it and then start over from scratch? Or should I finish it off, then unplug it?
Do they give you a way to shut it down gracefully from the web UI?
No, I can keep hitting previous to get back to the beginning.
I mean, you could, if you're SSH'd in, you can just issue a shutdown command.
I'm not, it's browser stuff. I'm sharing my screen, man.
Sorry.
All right, whatever. We're just gonna send it, unplug it. All right. Let me unplug this guy here. Now I have the problem of it's too short.
Just make sure that you don't accidentally show something you shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just showing Discord and a terminal right now. So if it's something I shouldn't, it's gonna be on the fault of you guys on the Discord.
Enter 2?
Just
What is it, the Legend 49?
I mean, you guys could see my home network there for a second, but I don't think anybody really cares about that.
Oh no, we know the address of your deck printer.
Yeah, you can
All right,
also see.
everybody, his IP is 192.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Yeah, the deck printer is actually through. Oh, what is it on? It's on like 180 or something like that.
I always renumber everything into the 10 class A just for the shit of it. So now, when you know you've got somebody's that's weird is when they're using the what is it, the 187 class B?
Oh God.
Oh, you mean 172?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I've had a network like that. That was weird.
I'm using it for like the internal network on the OS Museum VM that I'm making because 10 is already taken by like the Ethernet card used by the VM itself, and like 192 is taken by TAP, so then I use 172 for VDE.
All right. Next. Online connectivity check. Oof. All right. Check interval is 15 minutes. Host IP is 1.1.1.1. What do I care about that?
I don't. That's a DNS. Yeah, that's a DNS that you're talking about right there. That's Amazon's DNS.
It's Google's.
I thought Google was 4.4.4.4.
Well, this says Google's is 8.8.8.8.
Oh
It's
yeah,
all eights.
8.8.4.4. Yeah, this is a secondary.
Yeah, I think they have all fours too.
But it defaults to
8.8.4.4
1.1.
is secondary.
So I guess I should go to 8.8.8 down here.
I
That
think
says
1.1 is Cloudflare.
It's Cloudflare. You can leave it as 1.1.1.1. It's fine for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
assuming you trust Cloudflare, which I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I can.
Loud
Yeah,
fart.
whatever.
Google's are
Yeah.
8.8.8.8 and 8.8.4.4.
We're at 4.
Okay,
Yes,
that was
right.
it. I knew they had
Yeah.
something with 4s.
I use the secondaries usually because they're less loaded. So
It's still giving me undervoltage detection on a 2 amp supply.
what Pi are you using? A Pi 4?
I have no idea. What's up,
Anyone
Particle Man
know?
Dot? Thanks for the Prime sub.
My Pi 3 has always given that error no matter what supply I used it with.
All right, yeah, just leave it. If you have a 2 amp supply, which you do, it should be fine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore it until it breaks. All
Yeah,
right,
I've been
what do I-
running Pi-hole.
What do I care about a plug-in blacklist processing? Supposed use of a centralized plugin version blacklist to automatically disable such plugin versions per the command.
You probably do want to enable that.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, because all the supply chain bull crap.
Yeah, okay. Set up your printer profile. Name is Ender3 Pro. Identifier is apparently default. Oh, I need. Oh, all right, whatever. Paste. Sure. Print bed, and build volume. It's rectangular, origins lower left. It is a heated bed. It's a little more than 200 by 200 by 200, isn't it? It's like 220.
I think it's 235 if you have the larger build plate.
I think I can check that here. Pair, move
You can also
axis,
get a
move
measure
X. Yeah, I can set it all the way to plus 235. Yeah, but that means that my Z is probably still just stuck at 200.
No, Z is 250 on a Ender 3.
Okay, 250 it is. Our axes. Please define the maximum speed / feed rate of the individual axes and whether their control should be inverted or not. We've got 6,000 millimeter per minute in X and Y and 200 millimeters per minute in Z. And I don't know what the E axis is.
Extrusion.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I
it's
don't
how
know.
fast it tries to cram the filament into the head.
What? So what?
Those numbers are fine. Your
the
slicer
defaults
is
for that
never
are probably
gonna.
just fine.
Yeah, these
Okay.
are
would
for
be the
mostly for safety. It's not.
E
It's
would
to
be
set
the
a
time
very
travel
high.
factor.
Yes,
Hold
time
on, two
travel
people
factor.
talking.
Yeah, it's just setting a maximum for the safety of the machine. Like it can move at 6,000 millimeters a minute, but it's not. It's never going to, because
Okay.
your slicer's never going to do that.
So I have no idea what my nozzle diameter is. I'm guessing it's the default diameter, which is 0.4 millimeters.
Yes.
Okay, we'll just go with that. The default extrusion length is 5 millimeters. Does that need to change?
No, that's just there's some buttons for doing extrusion manually. That's all that sets up.
Okay, all done. Okay.
I love that disclaimer. Even some printers can catch on fire.
Yeah.
They're not wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh,
I've had a
excellent.
friend have one catch fire.
Just out of curiosity, does this thing have a built-in self-test?
Hmm. I think Ender 3 does, yes.
I didn't see a self-test on the little wheel menu here.
Thought it did.
When they shipped new, they had a SD card in them that included a couple of pre-made or pre-sliced files, but I don't think you have that card.
No, I meant OctoPrint. Does OctoPrint have any kind of built-in self-test?
No, I don't think
Not
so.
that I'm aware of. No.
Okay, so the Pi plugs into the 3D printer via the USB micro plug on the front of the 3D printer and a USB port on the Pi.
Yep.
So I should have a connection here. Is there any way? But it says that my state is offline. Oh, all right. Oh, that's the giant button that my mouse is hanging over. Right.
Yeah, offline or online is a logical state, not. Yeah.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah,
Your printer's firmware is
Oh.
known to have a broken implementation of the communication protocol. Oh, that's fun.
Oh no.
Well, whatever. We'll send it and see how it goes.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh yeah, I should be reading Twitch chat. Tempting Astro is moving at double the speed that I am. Just go for it. I like your style. Okay, so I got to load something now.
I put an STL in the chat. Might be a little long though.
Well, no, I got a G-code file that Tempting Astro sent, but I don't know how to load a file from here.
I think you just press on the files.
I've got SD card operations, refresh file list. Oh, file list settings.
You can drag and drop the file onto the browser window.
Oh,
fancy. Let's see here. Where's your CE3 Pro? That's our guy right there. Oh, SD not initialized. So we'll just upload it locally. Come on now. Okay. Now
goes.
What?
Click on it.
It shows it up here, yeah. It says
The
approximate
button on
total
the-
print time is 15 minutes.
The button on the right with where the file name is, that where it looks like a printer, is the load and print button, and it'll do exactly that.
Button on the right.
You see the one
Okay,
that the
see where the
little
name
blue
is?
button that says print.
That's on the left.
No. Where it says CE3 Pro, Usagi, etc. Scroll down.
Oh, you mean down here, load and print.
Down at the bottom, there's a little printer on the right. Underneath the down point. Yeah,
I gotcha, yeah.
That'll
Yes.
whack it in the ass of the boat paddle.
Yeah, yes, print and don't warn again. So it's gotta warm stuff up.
And you haven't loaded any filament yet.
Oh, you're right.
Oh shit.
We should
Yeah,
probably
show the
pause that.
camera of the.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
And
So
I
I
even
paused
talked
it.
about that earlier.
Yeah, here we go. Let's go back to here. I'm glad somebody's paying attention.
I was thinking that in the back of my head. I was like,
Now
All
I
right.
get to play with the loud and tube.
So I clicked pause, but I do believe that the bed is warming up because it says it's at 33 Celsius already. 34, 35. The tool is at 19 Celsius.
So the way this works is that when you say print in OctoPrint, it starts sending G-code down to the printer, kind of like in little batches, and when it sends a command to heat the bed, that command will not finish until the bed has reached that temperature. So it can't pause until that finishes.
Gotcha.
load your filament before it starts trying. So
I don't know how to do that. Although I'm guessing that it's pretty self-explanatory.
you're gonna
Yeah,
learn
the
about
problem
boat
is in the
too.
performance.
So I'm just going to use, should I use the nicer PLA over here, or should I use the like cheapo stuff that came with it?
I don't know that actually.
It's not going to matter for what you're doing.
Okay.
I would use the cheapest.
Yeah, I would just
first.
run a test
That way,
print
if
with the
something
cheap
goes
stuff.
Yeah,
wrong,
just use the
waste
cheap.
the.
So how far do I load the filament?
Until it starts coming out the other side.
Well, there's an extruder gear in there, so just push it until it hits the extruder gear, and then manually run the extruder once it's warm.
Yeah, it'll spooge some out. You know.
Well, I can't even manually get it to go into the pipe.
Oh, right. Okay. Depending on how the extruder is this the one where you pinch the little what's it, and you have to hold it pinched the whole time you're trying
There
to.
looks to be like a little red button, but I don't recall how the if it's like an extruder release type setup or push it with the gear.
Okay. Well,
the
let's talk a little bit about what the setup is on this printer. So the part you're holding on to is the extruder motor, and yes, the filament just goes in, and that stepper motor has a serrated gear on it that grabs it and pulls it through. When you are trying to load this, there's that red tab, and you pull it to the side one way or the other, whichever way it actually goes against the spring, and that just moves the gear back a little bit. Actually, it opens the space, a roller away from the gear to give you a little space. Normally what you have to do is like get it with the gear lined up, and you can get it past the gear, and then you're trying to load it into the hole that the tube, the Bowden tube that on the other side of it, you're trying to actually get it to go into that. That can be a little tricky to do, and usually the easiest thing is if you have a pair of side cutters, you want to cut the filament at a slight angle.
Gotcha.
So that it's got a shape that it can slide into. But the other thing is that since you started a print, the stepper motor is likely, the motor driver is on, and you probably won't be able to turn the knob on top of the extruder until it actually pauses and you tell it to turn the motors off.
Well, I can hold it open far enough to where it hits the tube, but I can't get it to go into the tube. But
That's
we'll
the
see.
thing that's my usual problem. The trick that I have is the filament naturally wants to curl a given direction. I cut the slant of when I'm cutting across it to make it easier to go in, I get the point on the outside of the curl. That way the curl isn't driving the point into the wall of the tube.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. That's not bad.
This here is what I hate most about changing filament, because I could never get it to go all the way through the mechanism on the first go. I have to sit there and fight with it, and my hands get tired of squeezing the pathway open very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm like not even sure I've got the thing together correctly because it just really does not want to load.
Yeah, and on mine, I am lucky in that the Bowden tube itself is slightly transparent, so I can see if the filament is even close to being in the right place or not. But, yeah.
So if you're really having trouble with it, you can unthread the fitting on at the extruder, and that'll just separate the tube from the extruder head, and you can at least get it fed through the extruder and then sort of line it up into the tube, and then
there we go. I got it.
Reattach.
Yeah. Once you see how it goes together, it becomes marginally easier. It's just mechanically it's a pain in the patoot.
Should we stop the print instead of
Paused.
pausing it? Yeah.
It doesn't matter right now for what he's doing.
Yeah, I got it. It's threaded all the way in.
Sweet.
Yay. So now it's going to start cooling a little bit out the other side once the thing heats up.
Yeah, my tool is still at 19 Celsius, so it's like That's the
Yeah.
room temperature. So now I
No,
can go
yeah.
back. Now I can go back to resume, and it should then start warming up the tool head, right?
Right. And what I'm saying is expect it to pull out a little bit as the tool head warms up. That's normal.
Yeah.
What's really freaking annoying is sometimes as it heats, it'll curl back around the tool and gum up the end of it, but that it is what it is. Just resist the temptation to try to grab it with your fingernail or something.
So the normal practice, which we're not doing for reasons that we already started down this path, you would normally manually heat up the tool, just the tool, and then use the buttons to actually manually cause the extruder to extrude. And you would just kind of prime it by forcing out some plastic before you actually started a print. In this case, with it, when it actually heats up, there'll probably be a little bit where it starts pushing filament before it actually starts coming out the nozzle. So you'll have a little bit of a gap in the print, but it's not too big of a problem.
There's not a filament change command?
Well, there is, but he just printed a G code, so it's not going to have like a filament change command built into the print he's doing.
Yeah, but
Another thing I just thought of is watch for the fan on the extruder to spin up. If it starts printing, the fan isn't running, bad things will happen.
So I've got 2 fans on the extruder. One of them's been running the whole time. The other one hasn't turned on yet.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So the one that's in front that's on all the time is a cooling fan for the extruder itself. And so that's like the extruder puts out a lot of heat and they PWM it. And so they constantly run air over it as a way to keep the temperature from skyrocketing. And that's how you get your balance for it to control the temp. The one that's on the side actually is a squirrel cage that faces down, and that's a cooling for the print itself. So that one, the slicer will control the fan speed to actually spin that up as it needs to cool down the layers as they're printing.
Right. David, just stream note. You got gifted 5 tier tubes.
From EndoraFox. Hell yeah! Thank you, EndoraFox. That's awesome. There you are, Yahtzee. So all sorts of things are happening at once. EndoraFox crushing the stream for us. Also, it's things are moving.
Yep, I saw.
Yes, they are. And the fan is spun up.
The fan on the front, the squirrel cage hasn't spun up yet.
We have an outline.
Should be fine.
Plastic on the bed. Nice.
It feels so much like watching the mill cut PCBs, only it's way quieter.
Yep.
And it's like a
And you
Star
don't
Trek
get
replicator.
shaders.
It's as close as we'll get to it so far.
So it says that we are 11% done with the print so far, 12%.
Yeah, does the slicer take into account warm up and cool down?
No clue.
Usually they don't.
Okay.
Well, OctoPrint in its default doesn't even look at the progress commands in the G code. It's just doing it based on file size. So
For the future, there is a preheat setting in the
Go ahead, Robo.
in the main menu. There's a preheat, and you can actually set your temperatures in there. You do that before you start the print, and once it gets the temperature, it'll just hold, and you start the print, and the print should start right up.
Dude,
Yeah,
filament is going to last forever. I was expecting it to chew through filament at about 10 times the rate that it is.
Oh no, it goes a while. Depends on what you're printing, really.
So the larger piece of the Phoenix filter, what I call the rear tail, that's about 200 grams of filament.
Yeah,
Jeez,
the slicer that I use will actually tell me how much filament it's going to use for any given print.
The printer also has an
nice.
odometer built into it, so it'll tell you how many miles you've printed.
Oh, that's clever. I don't think mine
So
has
this
that.
1 kilogram of PLA that I have over here is going to last a very long time.
Yeah, the problem with it is you need to keep it dry as much as you can.
It's
if you're lazy like me and just leave it on the printer, bad things will happen to you.
Yeah, for the first print, at least with it, it's fine. It's in a sealed bag.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
keep it in the box with desiccant, or get a dehumidification box for like the one like B&H sells that you can put lenses in. Works good, I've heard.
I bought a
Food
cheap
dehydrators work for that too. It's pretty easy.
Yes, true.
I bought a cheap food dehydrator, the round ones. That you can, like, stack trays. They're you can get them like secondhand from or returns from Amazon. If you ever have filament that is wet, you'll hear it snapping and crackling because as the water boils off in the print head. You stick it in there for a while and it'll dry it out.
Wait, I think he has one because of sticky shed syndrome. We've had to deal with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. In my case, the way I store them is works okay so far. I just get a 1 gallon Ziploc baggie, and I still have a bunch of desiccant packs left over that the HVAC guys behind us gave me. They buy them by the giant cloth sack because they ship stuff all over the place. So I just toss one of those in the gallon Ziploc bag with the spool, pull out as much of the air I can, and shove it back in the box it came from. And that seems to work.
Also, Endora is in VC right now.
Oh, what's up, Endora?
Hello.
How's it going? Thanks for all the subs, man.
I'm doing quite well. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's I make dumb tech worker money. I can afford to give my friends subs.
It's much appreciated.
Congratulations on taking up the hobby of pretending to be a machine manager and dealing with one of the other spawns of the devil.
I've had this 3D printer forever, and I've been meaning to get it to go, but I'm like, I know nothing about it. Like, you can send me some G code, and I can get it slicing out on a CNC mill, but 3D printers kind of scared me.
There are a couple of really good YouTubers that have put out good tutorials on the back history of printing and how to get started. Thomas Solander, I will send you links because I know this will go in your ear and dribble out the other side, just like if you're on a plane. But there are some wonderful tutorials on like the basics, the core pieces, the physics behind it. You know.
I mean, it's like, it definitely feels very similar to CNC machining.
It is. It's additive.
Additive.
Yeah, it's additive instead of subtractive.
Yeah, it's like a 3D printing welder.
Yeah, there you go.
They make metal 3D printers out there, and they're super cool.
Yes, they do. Jay Leno has one.
You can also
I've
get
never heard that. That's kinda
filaments
cool.
that have wood fiber in them and other such things. And I at one point was experimenting with one that was a bioplastic made from seaweed extracts. My house smelled like a sushi restaurant for a week.
You can also you can get free filament, free quote unquote, from old 2-liter bottles. PETG works good too.
Okay. So one of the things that I do want to do with this is printing rubber pieces.
TPU.
I have a kilogram of TPU.
Yeah,
so
TPU.
I already ordered the right stuff, I think.
So the caveat with TPU is that it likes a direct drive extruder rather than a Bowden style like what you've got currently. It won't. It will work, but you'll have to fiddle with it because what you're dealing with is effectively a rubber band that you have shoved in a tube, and you're trying to push the rubber band through a tube.
Yeah.
True.
That's what she said.
However, the bonus trick is that you can actually make silicone molds and fill it with more appropriate materials or specialty rubbers or what have you really easily.
I was just thinking it would be great to be able to print new cap stands for tape drives.
Oh, you can do that. You can also make new reels for the G15 very easily.
Yes.
Yeah, I've made my own deck rider ribbon reels.
You mean like reels that hold the paper tape?
Yes.
No, reels that hold the ink ribbon in a deck rider. But
No,
yeah,
we gotta do those with aluminum. The reels that hold
This is where we turn around and figure out what the cost of an SLS printer is, and well, yeah.
No, so I like the this for anybody that's on Patreon and checked the notification like an hour ago. So MX Shift and I have been working on Phoenixes together, and he's managed to get new HEPA filters from the HEPA Corporation, but they need the end caps that make it match Phoenix or Hawk or whatever. So I'm really, and MX Shift had printed end caps properly for the one that is now living in the Phoenix. But I would like to someday put new HEPA filters on the Hawks as well. I mean, the Hawk is a tank. You could probably run it without a filter, but it would be nice to do it properly. So this opens up the possibility for me to design and print new end caps for a new Hawk filter.
Should you want to get at a TPU and you find yourself wanting a direct drive extruder, for the Ender 3 specifically, Micro Swiss makes a really good one. It is worth the $100.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple options. I just updated my Ender 3 with the Creality makes a upgrade kit for their Sprite direct drive extruder. That's pretty much a straight bolt-on. It's very straightforward. So there's a bunch of options, but it's definitely a couple $100 upgrade. But that's, I mean, I agree with everybody. Trying to print TPU on a Bowden setup like this printer is currently does not work particularly well.
Okay.
This will be great for printing PLA and PETG, which the end caps that I printed for the Phoenix filter are just PETG. And I printed a bunch of them in PLA when I was figuring out and test fitting things. PLA is very inexpensive and very forgiving, so it's great for doing your draft prints. And then switching over to whatever filament you need. Like if you're working on parts that are going to be in the interior of a car, switching over to something like ASA can make sense. So you start getting into some of the material science for what environment it's going to be in.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one thing I will tell you though is if you ever decide to print with something that's more substantial, like say ABS, you need with a capital N to make sure you have some sort of fume extraction, because when you actually run that through the printer, you do not want to breathe the fumes that it starts to put out. You will notice very, very quickly that things don't smell particularly pleasant, and then you might find yourself on the floor after after it finishes.
One note.
It's not that bad. I mean,
No, it's not that bad.
It says the person who has good airflow through their room. I've had that happen and felt woozy in a room where the airflow wasn't quite so good.
I mean, it can't be worse than going for a swim in PCB oil.
Wow, I mean, run a car in the garage for a minute or two.
Okay,
yeah.
If your choices are I want to get shot by a 22 versus exploded by a nuclear bomb, I suppose I'll pick the 22. But
well,
I don't know. The 22 could be like a slow, painful death. Nuclear bomb is pretty instant.
Is pretty quick.
We're talking like milliseconds.
As far as using the 3D printer in your environment, like in your shop, it's going to be reasonable to print PLA. Like you can print PLA pretty much anywhere. some of the other filaments start to get very temperamental with temperature and with air drafts. And so you kind of start wanting to be in a more controlled environment. Otherwise, they'll do things like curl if they cool too quickly or if they have a draft going over them.
Warping is a huge issue with like nylon and ABS. That's why a lot of printers nowadays have enclosures. So you might
Yeah, you need
and
chamber for ABS.
The only rule for some of the other ones where we're talking about fumes and stuff, like putting it out in the bigger shop would work, but you have to think about what's going to happen temperature wise. If it's a hot day, it will behave differently than if it's a cold day.
I will
That makes
also
sense.
say that finding a home for it to live otherwise permanently is very good, because every time you pick it up and move it, it will lose tramming a little bit. And that adds up fast.
Yeah, that's one of the big issues that we have is where is it going to live? My brother keeps his 3D printer in the kitchen, which I find hilarious. It's like next to the dinner table, but I would not be allowed to put this in the kitchen. I had it living behind the TV in our room, which could work. I mean, I could run a Ethernet cable to the Pi and just leave it over there and print, but it does, I mean, even on PLA here, it's a little stanky, and the room is where the bunny is, so I don't necessarily want to do that.
The other problem is if you get into
reasonable enclosures.
If you're going to put it in the kitchen, you need a pancake pot instead.
Yeah, there we go.
That is true. You do.
Are they still around?
Little bit.
No, but
I
somebody
believe
had
so.
one
Yeah.
last year that they gave away.
Oh, awesome! It was at Maker Faire when they introduced them. The other thing to remember is when you start getting, if you get into a print that's going to take a very long time, OctoPrint has a few things that'll help you. If something gets stuck, but you do want to have like a smoke detector in there or something like that, wherever it is printing, if it's going to go overnight or something.
And Jay Braven makes a point that we kind of all glossed over, which is that the Raspberry Pi also has Wi-Fi. So
Oh,
you're
it
not
does?
actually beholden to where you have an Ethernet cable.
Oh, I didn't realize it had Wi-Fi. So you're telling me that I climbed underneath the NCR to plug it into the router for no reason?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
But it also means you could put it out in the bigger shop area, like you could put it over by like the belt sander or something.
I would be worried about Dirt Diver's destroying it. So I would need like a case around it for when I'm not using it.
You want a box. You want a box. There are ones that look like photo booth boxes that are made out of like nylon and such. They're really nice, and they have like insulated insides. Those are really nice, and you can put one of those on. I've used a baker's rack. There's plenty of places that have built effectively small little pieces of furniture that hold filament and goo and stuff and printers and all that kind of stuff, that are not much larger than the footprint of the printer itself. And Amazon will find you plenty of them. Or I know people that use IKEA lac racks, like the lac tables.
If you look
can
in the
also just get a clear box, put it on its side, and cut some holes.
if you look in the attached chat, that's the Creality official printer house. It's a grow tent. That's what it is. If you go on Amazon and look up grow tents, it's aluminum mylar lined in the front. There's a little window, and it's just basically a nylon shell with like tent tubes that holds the printer.
Like, really, it's fine being open when we're printing. I just need something to like that I can just quickly set on top of it so that the dirt toppers don't get into it when it's off.
Cardboard box, or something that's not fuel.
five gallon bucket.
Well, I mean, yes. Also, having an enclosure when you're printing does really help when you switch to other filaments.
Okay.
So it's
yes,
like that's why using the grow tents is a super common thing. I have mine in a grow tent, and because I was printing ASA, and that needs to keep the bed at like 90 degrees Celsius and keep the enclosure at like 50 Celsius. So like you start getting into weird territory where having the enclosure helps. So
And
figuring out a
talking
space that
about-
you can put it where it's in that enclosure, as long as you can get power to it, you're pretty good.
Well, I think that's done.
The other thing in
One
that
of them
photo
is-
is very small windowless room, but I have an extraction fan going. That's a setup for resin though. I had the room on negative pressure because the resin is nasty.
Yeah, you can find the tents and what have you, even ones that are theoretically fireproof, like $30. They're good.
One of the nice things about the Ender 3 is it's like infinitely moddable. I believe the world record for the fastest benchy was held by an Ender for like a long time.
It was.
Okay, you're gonna
Get a paint spudger.
Yeah, I was just about to
Yes.
say you're looking at
Wait,
that going.
no.
"Oh, it's done,"
This is
except
why
no, it's
you
not
have a
done.
magnetic bed. You just
Oh yeah,
literally
just take
pull
the
the sheet
magnetic
off and
bed
bend it.
off and then warp it a little.
Yeah, give it a couple of moments to cool, lift the bed off, and then flex it, and it will pop off.
Yeah,
not
don't.
use a
Yeah,
spudger on a
because it's a
textured bed.
texture bed, you're gonna scratch it.
Yeah,
with a
don't use a paint scraper. There's a couple models out there for 3D printed bed scrapers that work pretty good and don't wreck the PEI.
If
You can use
find yourself-
the plastic tool you use to mix Bondo.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I
or
meant.
There are
But good news,
plastic,
if you're not
razor
able to
blades.
if you're not able to pick it off with your fingernail that easily, then you got really good first layer adhesion.
Yeah, it took quite a lot of
yeah.
flex to get it out. So is this the
It's-
point where
yeah, good job,
I
should.
is this the point where I laugh at all of you and say that I got my first layer adhesion correct?
Yes, you do.
Yes,
And
you
we
do.
will clap.
Yay! There we go. There's my very first 3D print ever. It looks terrible on the camera because the camera just makes it a big white blob.
It's an egg.
I will keep the asterisk to myself.
It here we go. I'll take a picture of front and backside and post it up in Friday Night Twitch so you guys can judge it.
Do you have a ink pad?
Or
Ooh, that's a good
Sharpies.
idea.
Sharpies work great.
Yeah, ink pad or Sharpie.
Yeah,
For what?
because you can stamp it.
If you want to get really fancy, you can get black PLA and stop it on the last layer and then swap filaments and print the last layer in a different color.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff
that's
like
a lot of work for
Prusa's
this.
Slicer. Prusa's Slicer has a way to say at this layer, stop and let me change the filament.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
it's not bad.
It's it's not perfect, but you know, came out all right.
I think the outside of that is supposed to be a raft.
Yeah, that can come off.
Yeah, there's a good brim on there.
Yeah, that breaks off real easy.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's there to keep it from warping.
yeah, that's
Yeah, if we want to get into nitpicky, the brim on the outside, the single layer print that peels off real easily, in your first photo on the left-hand side, you can see where the layers, or where the passes were not actually meeting well. That's where the Z height was off slightly, so the amount of plastic that was getting there was too little. It was probably floating a little too close to the nozzle. But then there's, on the other side, it was working fine. So that's like a warpage of the bed was playing with it, and that's what you end up having to fight a bit to get good consistency, especially as you have things that use more of the bed.
You got
It's-
feeler gauges?
Yeah, that's how he
Yes,
set
he
the.
does.
Again,
okay.
careful with the finger oils.
Yeah, and that was the other thing I was going to mention is that you did get really good first layer adhesion, but you also printed a model that was maybe 1.5 inches square in the center of the bed. So okay, yeah, that there's kind of an asterisk there.
Hey, don't take this away from me.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm just mentioning that there are caveats to that.
At least wait for his second print. I mean, geez.
If I would do anything, I would adjust the rear left by just a tiniest bit upwards. But yeah, that is a beautiful first print.
Yeah.
So now I need a second print.
It's a hell of a lot better than my first print when I first got my mono price years and years and years ago that I eventually got rid of.
Oh,
Well,
man.
this is where we now get you into
Oh, God.
starting a slicer.
So does OctoPrint have a slicer built in?
No.
No, it does not.
No.
Okay, so I need a. So OctoPrint only takes G code.
Correct.
Okay.
Let's
Now, do you want to?
let's just make this easy on you to because this is honestly the best as far as I'm concerned in terms of slicing software that's out there is probably going to be Prusa Slicer, just because.
Remember, he's on Linux.
It runs on Linux. I think.
Yeah, it runs on Linux.
Yeah, it runs on Linux. Just like at least the versions that I've used ran on Linux. Like I don't know if it's been a little bit since I've used it, but
Yeah, the war here is between Prusa Slicer and Cura, I think, and at the end of the day, it
And
doesn't matter
Orca.
which.
Yeah.
Orca's the other big one. So did any of y'all want a history lesson on this stuff? Because I'm strangely knowledgeable in this. Because this is one of the weird examples of the GPL working out. Yeah, so the short history is that originally there was a piece of software called Slicer with a 3. That was GPL. Prusa picked that up. Then Bamboo Lab forked that, did a whole bunch of work. Orca forked that, stripped out a bunch of the Bamboo specific stuff, and now have one of the better ones. And it comes down to what you want.
David, I gave you 2 STLs that are the standard, second or first print things. A Benchy or Bodhi.
But that's the way you start from for a for the slicer. So you're gonna have to install something.
Yeah.
Prusa Slicer is an app. It's just distributed as an app image, so you can just execute it. Here.
I was gonna say, which one do you use?
He's got.
I use Orca Slicer. I don't really care. I just know that having sat with David the other day, like he already knows how to use app image. Orca has a working app image. It's gonna be fine. It has a preset for his printer.
Yeah.
It'll talk to OctoPrint.
Orca's not bad at all.
And if it has a preset for the printer, all the better.
Yeah.
I will firmly admit that I only do mild tweaks to the Voron configuration that gets shipped by Prusa.
So long as the slicing software is free of all the stupid telemetry that Bamboo puts in their stuff, I'm fine with it.
That's the point of Orca.
All right,
yeah, I mean,
let's.
the open source ones are going to be free of that kind of crap.
Oh, you got an error.
I got a setup wizard going on here. Hang on, there we go.
All right.
Get started. I would be North America. Printer selection.
Oh yeah, that's.
Ender 3.4 with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. Ender 3 Pro. Right? Yes. That looks correct. Boy, there's a lot of different Enders. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, they kept saying it was the last one, but then they came out with another.
Yeah, whatever. Filament type, all. Vendor, all. Sure, why not?
Yep. The generic PLA presets are pretty decent, all things considered.
All right. So now I need an STL file. Presumably, oh, hey, all right, we got an update.
The 2 that I put into Discord should work out for you.
Yeah,
We're
and
gonna
I linked
skip that bit.
to
Oh come on, we got to get something dumber
cube.
than we got to go crazier than a boat or a bench. What else we got? What other
Do you,
weird,
do you want my
weird junk do we
buff
have?
Send him
Benji?
the somebody send
Do
him
you
the
want the
Pink
buff
Panther.
Benji? I can give you the weird one.
Oh no, do a Benui.
Orca has a couple of built-in ones actually that if you just
Yes.
want to print
If
something.
you just
Here.
right click.
This is more fun than the Benchy normally. I don't hardly have that many STLs.
I have no idea how to use this.
Okay. First step, you're gonna add a model to the bed. So if you actually right click on in the prepare tab, right click on it, and there'll be an option for handy models.
Add handy models. There you go.
Oh, here.
And
Perfect.
Oh, we got a Voron. We got the Stanford bunny is big.
yes, and you can scale them.
Oh, you can?
I
Yeah,
got
heck
you one
yeah.
now.
So the box with arrows going out is move. The box with an arrow around is rotate. The box
Got
with
it.
arrows going in diagonals is scale.
Yeah. Let's go for like a 50% Stanford bunny here. Even that's still a little big. That's going to take like an hour to print.
Yeah.
Let's go to 25%, baby. Real small bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
I did give you something more fun if you want to try it. I have a 1401. You can print a component from the 1401
I
there.
mean, you do realize I have to start with the rabbit, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Not only that, the rabbit is actually a good test because the ears are overhang.
That is true. Is it going to do supports automatically or?
We can find out. So if you hit slice plate,
Okay.
that'll take you to the preview tab and show you what G code it's going to produce.
Oh, it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it looks like they're going to be freestanding.
They're not too bad. Worst
It
case,
is
we have
pretty
some droopy
small.
ears.
It might work.
Send it. What do we
Yeah.
have to
Now
lose?
you want to see the party trick?
Sure. What's the party
See
trick?
that little Wi-Fi symbol by the print by where the drop down that says Creality Ender 3 Pro up at the top?
Top
Top
Yes.
left.
yeah, left under device.
If you click the little thing that looks like a Wi-Fi symbol, you can put in the IP address of your Octopi.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. And when you do this, it also puts the web interface into
And-
the device tab.
Yeah, you need an API key that's in one of the options there. I forget where they put that in OctoPrint.
Oh, it's in the OctoPrint setup somewhere.
Yeah, if you go to the Octopi browser window, and I think it's under your, I can't see it because of the Twitch chat, but I think it's under user settings.
Yeah, application keys.
Oh, there it is.
Application key.
Print
You
API
generate
key.
You just have to generate it, and yeah, there
I got it. I got it. Okay.
Yep, so you paste that in and do your test, make sure that it actually can talk to it.
Oh, I didn't do a test. I
Oh,
just said
well.
okay.
It'll probably work.
Either way,
Send it.
well, now when you click the slice plate button, it will slice it, and then it'll give you a button that says send a print, and it will actually just automatically upload it over to the Octopi. You got a bunch of stuff overlaying on top of each other.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that.
Oh, it's just giving you a whole bunch of
Tool
tips. You can just close that. So at the top right, now there's a print button.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you press that, it'll actually send it over and start printing it.
Oh, I've got an upload and print. Okay.
Yeah. You can also just do upload if you just want to load it into OctoPrint without starting the print.
Oh,
and then
all right.
And yes,
go up to the
everyone is
device.
saying no support, and it may or may not. It's the amount of overhang that an Ender 3 can do is often surprising.
So if you go back to that
I'm
app,
curious to see how it does without supports.
Yeah, here you go. Let me.
David, if you go back to the app, you can go press the device tab, and it should show you the same thing you're looking at now, but in the single app.
Wow, it moves the head really far out of the way to
We can't see
heat
what
the
you're
bed.
seeing.
Yeah, I know. I'm slow. I got two mouses going on, and I don't know what I'm doing.
So if you press the device tab on that, where the blue one is, where the big blue button is, at the top, you should be
Yeah.
able to see it through there.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I don't need to have the
web browser.
The web browser open. I can just do it all from within Cura. That's cool.
OctoPrint. Well, yeah, from within the Orca slicer. It's great.
Yeah, not Cura, Orca. Oh, it just loads the exact same UI.
Yeah, but it's
It's
kind
a-
of nice to have it there, so that you don't have to go dig around with your tabs or whatever.
Yeah, you just got it all prepare, preview, device. Nice. That's excellent.
Yep.
All right, so we're warming the bed. My nozzle is apparently already hot.
Yep. You may encounter it dribbling a little bit. This is entirely expected. If you really want to, keep a pair of like fine tip needle nose on you and just swoop and snag it when it starts moving. It takes a little bit of practice to get right, but that or a soft metal toothbrush.
Well, it does a whole line down the left side to kind of clear the nozzle out.
Right. That's the
If
that's the purge line, which it should.
Sometimes if there's a bit of shmoo on the end, though, it'll grab and then detach somewhere in your print, and then the head comes right over it and it just crashes in.
Oh, good Lord. This says the print time is 3 hours.
It should take about a half hour for something like that.
I'm not gonna be awake for for the end of it.
I don't think it's calculating that right.
Yeah, I don't think it calculates very accurately. It's either 3 hours or 3 minutes, and either way, it's probably way off.
It's probably
About as accurate as the Windows file copy dialog.
Yeah, there we go. That makes sense.
What OctoPrint shows in its UI is purely based upon how many commands are in the file. It doesn't know anything about how long each command takes. In Orca Slicer, when you actually do the slicing, it will give you a breakdown of like how much filament it's going to use and what the total print time is, and that takes into account what the actual movements look like. So the Orca Slicer is usually much more accurate than what OctoPrint tells you.
Okay.
In my experience, the time estimates given by the slicing software tend to be way better. And sometimes if the printer itself actually has a display showing how much time it estimates is left, oftentimes it usually winds up being just as accurate, if not even a little more so sometimes.
I've also learned that keeping a little inspection pen light on hand for the first couple layers is, if not placebo, but at least like you get to watch it and you get to kind of hold your breath for a little while.
So, having cut probably 500 plus PCBs on the mill, that joy of watching it make the first cut has waned a bit. Now I just hit go and I watch long enough to make sure that I didn't totally botch it, and then I go inside and play video games. And then I come
He
out
says
an
as
hour
though there's
later and
something wrong
realize,
with that, which there isn't.
yeah.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's the same thing here. I often watch the first layer and then go to something else because, like, that bigger piece of the Phoenix filter, that's a 14-hour print.
Oh, good lord. I mean, at least this thing is like quiet and doesn't chew through power quite like the mill does. I think the longest cut I've ever done on the mill was a 6-hour cut. And the oh, you guys can't quite see it. If I move the camera here, the memory on the UE1, that's 4 bits per board. Each one of those was about a 4-hour cut. And 4 hours on the mill is a lot of noise, a lot of electricity.
Well, you have a rotary converter for the mill, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that eats up a lot of power and gives you a lot of power factor error.
Yeah. Oh,
But you're not built for real power. So.
Speaking of power, while since we're 14% into this, how the giant problem with the Auger microprobe, we now have 240 volt and 120 volt over to that corner, but how do I get 240 volt down to 200 volt without spending $1,500 on a transformer?
200 volt?
Yeah.
It's
that's an issue.
Yeah, it's a Japanese import, so it has to be 100 and 200.
Now, did you ask them what they used previously?
Yeah, so he said that he just ran it on like big Variax.
I mean, that works. You can get a Acme transformer surplus on like Gov deals, but that's about the only proper way to do it is actually have a proper step down buck.
So I found plenty of like 240 to 200 or 120 to 100 step downs. The 120 to 100 step down, that's a pretty easy one to take care of. No, because I got to go 120 to 100, so that's a down.
Yeah, duh, stupid.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's lots of people have consumer Japanese electronics that are in the 100 volt range. So there's quite a few options out there for that. But the 240 to 200 one's a little rare. The only step down, I mean, granted, I haven't done more than like an hour of searching, but the only one I've seen so far is about $1,500, and it's 240 volt, so it's 200 volt 20 amp. That's the issue, is that I need quite a lot of current.
I mean, there are ways to wire up transformers to buck a certain amount of voltages off, but I mean that's kind of not a safe thing to instruct someone to do. There's no way to rewire some of this equipment to 40.
So that's a current unknown. That is something that I think before I dump $1,500 on a transformer, that's something I need to check. The 200 volt supplies are for the sublimation pumps to get down to ultra high vacuum. And I don't think those, if they do, I'm gonna have to take them completely apart and poke around on the inside. But I think they're just supposed to take 200 volts in. Yeah.
The filament supply might be an issue with that. Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. Let me look a little bit.
Yeah, I also think the high voltage supply might take 200 in.
Now, the if 208 is close enough, you can get a 240
yeah.
to 208 transformer.
That's true. That'll probably work
Yeah, those are-
just fine. Didn't even think of that.
Yeah, that might work. 240, 208. I mean, 208's pretty close.
It's the wrong. No, that's the wrong way.
It's 4%. So yeah, close.
Yeah, I don't think the jail paperwork specifies. It just says you need 200 volt at 20 amps.
Yeah, and it doesn't specify any phase relationship.
No, it's literally just one line in the manual. Yeah, or it says single phase, 100 volt, 30 amps, 200 volt, 20 amp, 50, 60 hertz. That's the sum total of information that they give you about power supplies.
Wunderbar.
And we're looking for. I'll just put 25 to 50 in here. All right. Get a 40 amp.
But
You have a lathe, right?
Yeah, I got a lathe and a mill, so I can machine up what I need to. But
Yeah. No, I was just say worst comes to worst, you could wind your own transformer coils with the lathe.
Oh, that's
that's worse coming to worse, all right.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm talking about, things have gone completely downhill and we're at wit's end, make or break.
Oh, come on. Where's your sense of adventure?
Eh.
Now, the other thing is you should measure what your 240 volt actually is, because if it's a little under 240, the 240 to 208 will get you really close.
Yeah.
Well, here's an option from Larson. That's what I meant. Which is a reputable brand.
I think that was the company I was looking at when I found the $1,500 one.
Acme is a real brand too. You can go with them. My old job, we had a bunch of Acme transformers. I call them buzz boxes because they're loud, but we had a bunch of pad mounts. A lot of pad mounts in our place because we went from 480 to 208.
God.
I hated working in that 400 volt panel. That 480 volt, I hated working on that power board.
Yeah. I love discovering power boards that have the magical, there is no safe PPE for this power board.
Oh no, mine was worse than that. It was a 40-year-old building and nothing was labeled. I had panels that I labeled, the mystery panel. Find out what label when trips. Because that's the only time I would know what it was when it tripped. Hey, something's not working. Oh, what's not working? Let me label it.
All right. I mean, there's like diagrams and schematics back here, but I don't actually know what they're for. So, or if it's for things that I don't have. That's like the supplementary power supply, but I don't think I have that.
Let's see what Amazon has. Amazon's suggesting that.
That's for the ion etching device.
Yeah,
Ultra high vacuum goniometer stage.
My level of confidence in Amazon to provide something that's like this is about as much as well, let's just say it is.
Ooh,
Snowball and
actually, a VFD might be the right option.
No, you need a linear. You can't have a VFD on a scientific instrument.
Dude, Little Bunny's coming together great, man. I'm blown away.
Too much ripple, and a VFD is a variable frequency drive, not a variable voltage drive. Very big difference.
Yeah.
Some of them you can finagle into making.
No.
You never, ever, 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 ever want to play that game when you're dealing with something that's AC.
As someone who does building maintenance and has played around with PLCs, no. I have seen a VFD explode. Not a good time.
I was kind of hoping that. So I've got a whole stack of documentation over here. I was kind of hoping that one of these had power supply information in it, or maybe.
So VFD stands for what in this context?
Variable frequency
drive.
Not the vacuum fluorescent display.
Yeah, it's what you use if you have a piece of equipment that's meant to be in Europe and you want to run it in America, or vice versa.
Not necessarily. It's used for soft starting motors, or anything where you have a fixed frequency non-synchronous motor, so asynchronous motor. You can use a variable frequency drive to overdrive them, i.e. faster, or underdrive them, i.e. slower.
Well, isn't every stepper motor a variable frequency device?
Yeah, that's a multiple phase device. That's actually not frequency.
Oh.
And a stepper motor is more like it's the way it behaves is more like a DC device than an AC device.
I follow you. Yes.
It's like if you had going back to telephony, it's like a step switch. You step it once, you give it a little bit of a nudge, pulling it towards another pole, and then you pull it to the next pole and the next one. Literally, if you open it up, it's a big squirrel cage, but it's not angled. It's just straight up and down. So it just moves it like a needle on a compass to the next one that's been energized.
Speaking of compass needles, a lot of cars, the gauges are stepper motors.
Sometimes.
Yes.
They used to sell
a lot
them.
of them are. Oh God, what's the one that they used in aircraft? They're tertiary. They have it's a meter. It's a constantly biased meter, but there's another coil in it that allows it to move a certain described amount. Most cars have done away with that one though. But
The real fun ones are the ones that are purely mechanical.
Oh God. Well, the bimetallic ones are fun with the heater wrapped around the bimetallic strip, like the water cages.
Yeah, those are good too.
Yeah.
Little Bunny is about 62%.
I have a stupid suggestion. I want other people to think about this. Do we suggest the Tokyo Power Grid solution of put DC in the middle? Turn AC to DC, DC to AC.
Not economical in this sense. We need a lot of amperage, and an inverter is going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, I think at that point it's cheaper just to get a
motor generator.
Yeah. So the one that Nuku put, it's 20 amp. We need a 80%. We need to load a transformer 80%. So a 30-ish amp one would be correct.
Well, it's also a 208.
True, but that doesn't buy us a lot of amperage. It buys us maybe half an amp.
Well, no, I mean, just it's going to go 240 to 208, which is at the high end of
right.
Would be
but
for a 200 input.
We're talking about the load is 20 amp. We're thinking, so we need.
Yeah, no, I'm wondering whether it will tolerate 208 volts, given that it's designed for 200 input.
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. It's because it's the 200 volt input. If I remember right, I couldn't find it in the documentation. It's primarily for the two sublimation pumps. So you've got two massive sublimation pumps on the bottom, and hopefully I can find the documentation for it. I think I've got it over there somewhere, but I don't know where. And I can find what the like voltage percentage is that you can go up to. Or maybe there'll
10%
be
is usually the max.
usually, but we're talking about sublimation pump power supplies, so they might be a little stricter on it.
Well,
I
as was
wouldn't
mentioned
think
before, 208 versus 200 is only 4%. That should be well within its tolerance.
Your wall outlet has a 20%. I believe you can go up down, which is about 15 volts.
Yeah, so let's imagine a bad day where I'm sitting at 255 instead of 240. Now I'm not at 208 anymore. I'm at like 212 or 214 or something like that, right? Now I could very much so be outside of what the pump control could handle, and we could damage things. So that's just something I got to check, right?
Right.
Yeah, because if it's plus or minus 10%, that's tolerates up to 220, so you'd still be okay.
Yeah. It must be midnight. I can hear my printers all reconnecting to the network. It's like a little alarm clock every night at midnight. All of my printers reconnect.
Yeah, in general, most industrial equipment, including scientific, do tolerate varying input voltages because they do regulation internally. Like
Yeah,
most
no, yeah.
appliances and all.
I imagine that it's fine, but I also imagine that there is a defined limit that it needs to live within. Whether that's 10%, whether that's 5%, or whatever, we need to like figure it out before we buy something. Pretty much, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. 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 Just trying to think of
But if it is fine, then that 240 to 208 for $300, that's the ticket. That's the key right there.
Yeah,
because that gets the job done. Because the 240 to 200 that I found was 1500. So that like whatever 15 fewer windings or however many fewer windings it takes quintuples the price, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Little Bunny is printing very well.
Well, hold on.
Probably
where's that?
more an economy of scale thing in that case, though, because I mean, seriously, how many folks are going from 240 down to 200?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is like nobody.
Probably vanishingly few.
Yeah.
Nuku, you got the wrong one. I had a feeling. You have a single phase 240. We're working with split phase.
No, I've got full.
It's single phase because we're doing 240 across the two phases, but it's still a single phase of 240, not three phases.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking, oh, yeah, we need a neutral. No, we don't.
Only if we wanted to tap the 100 off of it as well, which we don't.
No, we've got a separate 120 over there at 30 amps for it.
I had to wire up a car charger at a customer house, so my brain was like, oh yeah, neutral and hot and no.
Oh yeah.
Tell you what, the new Tesla chargers are pretty cool. You can press a little button on the handle, and it locks an adapter that's held in the charger, so you don't have to have a separate adapter anymore if you charge a different car. It's actually pretty slick.
They work really well as J1776 chargers as well as NACS.
Yeah. I was pretty impressed.
Hey,
Their
I
app
did have-
kind of was a little weird though, but whatever.
I did step away for a couple minutes, but did anybody suggest a line conditioner transformer?
Those don't have enough swing, I don't think.
Yeah. We want to step down.
No, but they do.
Well,
line conditioners go up and down. I have an APC line R that does. Let me find that.
yeah, but we'd be looking at shipping in a line conditioner from Japan, probably.
No. Here.
I mean, like the right answer here is double check that 208 is okay, and if 208 is okay, then the $350 option is the correct option.
Well, that doesn't have an 80%. That doesn't have 80%. So you really should be looking at something that does like, I don't know, 28 amps or so.
No. The machine. I'm pretty sure that the documentation isn't saying the machine pulls 20 amps. It says you need a 20 amp circuit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 20 amps is fine. If it pulls more than 20 amps, we got a problem anyways because we're using a 20 amp breaker. But yeah, no. We're going about this as it is saying, as if though it is saying that you need a 20 amp breaker for 200 volt, not it pulls 200 volt at 20 amps.
And these are titanium sublimation pumps.
Yeah. So the let's see here. Hang on, let me pull this open. See how far we're at 91%. So Bunny's almost done. I don't think I can quite get the camera there. So we've got two massive pump control units on the bottom of here. One is a sublimation pump control, and the other one is an Ulvion pump control, ULVION. And you actually, I think, manually adjust the filament current by hand on one of them. The other one, you don't have that kind of adjustment on it. But these two things on the bottom are definitely take 200 volt. And I think something over here on the main machine also takes 200 volt. But I'm not sure what exactly it is. I can take a picture of the two things on the bottom that I know for sure take 200 volts, though. Good luck finding information on them, though.
Oh, you underestimate the power of this chat.
Yes, you do. Also, Nuku, this is the thing I'm talking about. This is what I have and have used at VCFs to correct line power, both high and low.
Some of these, the line conditioners, a lot of the really nice ones, it's actually one of the last uses of ferro-resonant supplies.
Yes.
Yeah, ferro-resonant supplies are the jam.
How many?
That's why they'd be. I mean, I don't know if the one will be economical. It would fit the theme.
What's the correction percentage? I always forget. I'll tell you somewhere.
I got all this documentation about the thing, and I got nothing that's like, if you want to really, it's all in English too. So I mean, you would think that they would be like, if you're running big power, here's what you got to do.
Take a picture of the back. It might just have a nameplate with the power and whatever ratings.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Hang on. Well, the print is almost
200,
done, so let's finish the 3D print first, and then we'll go on a tangent here.
Yeah, JBev, never underestimate a group of dedicated nerds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our print is at 98%, so let's go ahead and finish the little bunny first, and then we'll roll that rack out and take a look at the bottom of it.
I found the documentation on the Anelva 92 TAC 9119.
Funny.
And its input is 200 volts AC plus or minus 20 volts single phase. So that's 10%. It should be fine on 208.
Okay.
Those ears don't look too bad at all.
Yeah,
there's a lot of filament between them, but I'm pretty sure I can just break all that off.
Okay, you got some bridging problems.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it
Yeah,
problems,
you're getting stringing, which
Yeah.
there's calibrations you can run to tune all that stuff out. But
Did
for
anybody
an
tell you the-
off-the-shelf print, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, here you go. I'll post a nicer picture of the stringing. I'm pretty sure I can just break all that stuff off, though.
You can.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it comes off easy.
One of the common post-processing for some prints is just hit it with a quick lighter to burn off any of the cheap strings.
Oh God, I still have my hot plate from acetone vapor smoothing.
Oh God.
Man, take me back. No, don't.
Yeah, I'll pass. Thanks.
How do you smooth out ABS? You put it in a hot plate over a hot plate with a pot of acetone on it. Don't do this inside.
I prefer boiling methyl ketone. Thank you.
I described the acetone vapor smoothing of ABS to Usagi while we were driving down the road, and his reaction was quite entertaining.
I don't remember what I said.
Oh, it was just complete disbelief that was a real thing.
Yeah, it was
Oh
probably.
God, we used to do some crazy shit in the olden days. Who here remembers buying foot-wide rolls of Kapton tape?
Oh yeah, I still have mine.
Mm-hmm.
Printed it so small I can't quite get my finger in there to clear it out. For a small print, this came out really well.
You could just use a razor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
These came out. This came out beautifully. For zero tuning, zero thought. Yeah, that came out beautifully.
Yeah, if I can get rid of this little tiny little bit of stringing on the tips of the ears. And just a tiny little bit across the top of the back here.
Yeah, the only other thing that would bug me is if that's supposed to be a brim at the bottom that just completely failed. That's bad news. But
no, I think it was
No, that's a
That's,
skirt. That's meant to be a skirt.
Yeah, the default settings for the Ender 3 profile is a skirt with a priming line, and it just matches what the off the shelf from Reality
last time
used
it
to
did
do.
last time it did a brim. So
Well, but that was a thing that was already pre-sliced and
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right,
straight
that's
as
right.
G-code. So
Honestly, though, 2 years from when you unboxed it to your first print is about how long it took back in the old days before you got it dialed in.
Oof. Oh, don't remind me.
Yeah, there we go. I got just a little bit of. I mean, if you had just a tiny bit of sandpaper on this thing, it would come out looking awesome.
Mm-hmm. I at one point did a 1-to-1 replica of the Stanford Bunny.
Well, now what we need to do is a Utah teapot, obviously.
Oh. Okay, you know what the bug in the Utah teapot model is?
What?
It's got holes. The lid and the body are two separate meshes, and it is non-manifold.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep, the original model is non-manifold because he didn't bother to do the connection. He didn't need to.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, he was pioneering, so no one knew standards yet.
Oh man, if you ever get the chance, I think it is still there in a back corner of the Computer History Museum in California. There is the teapot.
Okay. You see, the only computer museum I've ever been to is the LCM. Rest in peace. So.
Oh, have you seen ICM yet?
I haven't been to Seattle since it opened.
I did see the teapot at the CHM last year. It was riveting.
Yes.
But the
Well, take us as the invitation to come out for VCF PNW, and
yes,
we'll take you all over to
Yes.
ICM.
yeah.
Yes. And you can.
I would.
I think
but
one of the things for VCF needs to be that everybody also takes a trip over to the phone museum.
You mean the Connections Museum? Yeah.
Yes, I volunteer there.
Oh, you're in good company. I collect phones.
Ah, I'm sorry.
All right, let's go full tangent here.
Here, I'll give you.
Wee field trip.
Give you a little peek at what I do.
Well, I found the spec on the Anelva 922-9119 pump controller.
Is that the one that's on the bottom or
On the
top? On the bottom. Okay.
On the bottom. That's the sublimation pump controller, and that's 200 volts plus or minus 20 volts at 2 amps.
Oh, that's not bad.
It says 5 on the back, but okay.
Okay, but the
oh no, wait. That's wrong. Hang on. It's 2.15, and then it says the output is 8.6 volts at 550 amps.
Yes. I found it listed in a product catalog with the spec.
And apparently it's 50 amps AC. Yeah, so that one's probably fine. The one above it puts out 7.5 kilovolts on 2 different lines. That's fun. But I don't know where it gets its input from. Oh, it gets its input from up here, which might be 100 volt actually. So that big, you've got the Anelva documentation, right?
I didn't find the documentation for that model, but I found a catalog that references the model and the specs.
Okay, because there's 2 voltage inputs on the back. There's the big 200 volt voltage input, single phase, which has 4 wires. Does that make sense? I've got C1, 2, and 3. That feels like 3-phase to me.
And they could be wired together.
Maybe.
It does say single phase in the catalog.
It says it on the sticker on the back too, so I don't know what's going on. Let's see here. I think I took a picture before I unplugged everything. On the back of that guy. Let's see if I can find it. Or not.
Now it could be that 20 amp spec is the just for a generic 20 amp circuit.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
so-
that the 20 amp spec is just for. No, it had 4 wires going into this thing. How does that equate to single phase?
Well, you have to look at the plug. If it's a 3-wire plug with a ground, then it's single phase.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Here you go. I'll post a picture of what the plug going into is. This really cool, like, cloth covered plug. It's pretty wild. That's gonna be this one. Yeah, but so the one above it is getting voltage from here, which I'm pretty sure is 100 N.
Oh, I think that's the output to the titanium sublimation pump. Is the
Oh,
3 wires. Because those red wires go inside the chassis on the other side of that terminal block.
I got you now. So it's probably putting out 3-phase 8.6 volt at 50 amp.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to the pump. Gotcha. And so the input is actually this wire here, which comes up to here, which is going to be single phase 200 volt coming into this guy here. That I'm following that now.
Okay, that might be both input and output wiring. So yeah, that makes sense. So
Yeah, because I have a little black plug on the right side of the machine that's got 2 fuses on it, F1 and F2, right next to it. And that goes up to a little terminal block over here that is fused with what looks like an input coming into it. And I've got 2 big honking fuses on that guy, 2 20 amp fuses. So I've got 2 big 20 amp fuses on red, black, and green. That's single phase. So I'm betting my 200 volt single phase comes into here, and that is powering the Enelva on the bottom and the Ulvion right above it, because they're both tied in parallel on that.
okay. And yeah, those heavy fuses are probably the output from it, which can be up to 50 amps.
No, the heavy fuses are on the input, which are 20 amp each.
Oh, okay. Oh, that would be, yeah, because that was the 200 at 20 amps. That's what they told you.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's the only place that 200's coming in, which is right here. I think everything else is 100.
And there's no spec on that Ulvion GST1A? The one above it. The one above
That's the one I'm looking at. It doesn't, there's nothing obvious on it. I mean, there's all sorts of like plugins and stuff on the back here, but nothing that says like input out. I mean, the output voltage is 7.5 kilovolts on 2 different cables. But there's the input is like this crazy aluminum machined 250 volt 30 amp connector, which seems awfully intense. But there's no like sticker or anything. It just says Ulvac Corporation on the back here, says the GST-1, and then gives a model number, and that's all I get.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to find any documentation on that.
Yeah. It's got a pressure input, and that's fun.
The Ulvion is your ion gun power supply.
Oh, okay. Hence the 7.5 kilovolts.
Yeah, for both the sputtering and possibly for your scanning, your imaging as well.
Okay. I mean, that would make sense. The Enelva on the bottom, that's the one with the big filament current control power adjust knob. And then the Ulvion, because you're cranking out 7.5 kilovolts, also has a massive pressure gauge on it that goes all the way up to 10 to the negative 8 torr. So that would be that would let you know what the well, no, so that's the Ulvion pump controls. And then you have sublimation pump control. Both of these are going to be for our vacuum pumps, not for the ion gun. I have an ion gun control that's further up.
Yeah, well, that's
your follower goal.
I didn't catch that. What was that?
Oh, you just hit your follower goal on Twitch.
Oh,
he did. Oh, you're paying more attention than I am.
I don't know what was the follower goal.
890.
890. You have
Jesus,
890
wow.
people.
That's amazing.
Wow. Okay.
That's awesome. I am like the worst Twitch streamer on the planet, even.
No, you're not. Chair
camera.
stream exists for a reason.
So I've got so the two big boys on the bottom that take 200 volt in are going to be for our sublimation pump controls, because the one of them has big filament current control on it, and the other one has a massive torr meter on it. Moving up from that is when we get into the 100 volt stuff, and we've got ion pump control, ionization gun control, all sorts of other CMA scanner, all sorts of other weird stuff going on here. We've got something that look like two, I don't know what those are.
I found something right up your alley. I found a reference to the GST-1A, but it's on a Japanese PDF.
Oh, nice.
That's a local file.
Oh, did I put the...
You put your file directory in. That will work.
Yeah, I downloaded it. Let me see if I can copy the link.
I was just like, wait.
Crud. Google, of course, mangled it. I can clean it up.
Pretty much everything is going to have to come out of this chassis.
Oh.
One by one.
That looks like invalid URL.
Yeah, Google was being... It did not want to delete. Let's see if that's correct.
Oh, it didn't want to delete the here.
Yeah, there it goes. That link works.
Yeah, it's an auto download.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it is in full Japanese, but you know who can read that?
I know a guy.
Yeah.
I got a guy who can do this for me.
Yeah.
Making me an offer I can't refuse.
So if we spin it around here, the two that we were looking at on the bottom here, these are going to be these are, so there's two different sublimation pumps on this thing, and I'm pretty sure these are the two different controls for both of those. This massive blank plate here is where the plotter goes. Above that is a bunch of different smaller control boxes to do a whole bunch of different things. Then you have an empty plate here with nothing behind it. At least I think there's nothing behind it. And then you have the CMA scanner over here. And I'm pretty sure this is like the scanner that is used to take the Auger scan. I have no idea what the lock-in amplifier above it is for. The big blue box is the ion gun control, and then at the top you have an ionization gauge control. And the whole thing looks like it was built by 3 dudes who had no sleep. It's like missing screws, things are not aligned very well. Half of the modules aren't even bolted in. It's been through some work. So this one's going to be a challenge to bring up. But if we can cram 208 volt down those guys, then probably the 100 volt 30 amp requirement is split between this guy and the main thing. So I could probably find 200 volt 20 amp transformers, because those are much easier to find than 30 amp transformers. And then just have a dedicated 100 volt transformer for this, and then the main unit over there.
Remember, you also have roughened pumps too that are 100.
Yeah, I don't know what the roughing pump may not be 100. That might be 120.
Yeah, I saw a picture with it just scribbled on it 100 volt.
Those roughing pumps did not come with it. I got a different roughing pump with it. I was very confused too, because there was 2 of those in the picture, and I was like, dope. I get one for the Bowman. And then when I showed up, I got the actual roughing pump that's supposed to go with this, and not those 2. I was a little bummed. But I have the actual roughing pump that goes with this is, the thing probably weighs 40 pounds. Weighs a ton.
Stare at your Twitch for a second.
Holy, Endora Fox again? Man, you're crushing it today. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
The more
5 tier 1 subs.
get, the cheaper they become.
Oh, you got that type of train going? Okay. That's cool.
Yes.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's the way that Twitch makes money.
Yes. So 5 sub bundles are now 35% off.
Yeah. Twitch, that's the only reason that Amazon's able to keep Twitch going, is that the hype train is a very lottery loot box type thing, and it makes people.
And Twitch makes money hand over fist is the thing.
Oh no, they lose money with streaming.
Well, they're clearly not purely in the red, because if they were in the red all the time, they would just shut it down.
Amazon pumps a fair bit of money into them.
Yeah, but they got to be making a profit on something. So they're getting money. Like, you got to remember, Amazon's in the business of making money, and if they're doing something that's not making money, they're not going to be in that business much longer.
Yeah, I never said that they weren't making money, but they're not making terrible amounts of it.
Well, the amount that Twitch makes is bigger than the amount that retail makes on like video rentals and such.
Okay. Well, something that's interesting that Twitch started doing, at least recently, I'd never noticed this before, is that if you put another thing on the monitor that has the stream going, it automatically pauses, so you can't have a background tab anymore.
Yeah, there are user scripts that fix that.
Okay. I've never seen that before, and I haven't been on Twitch in a while, but...
That's like the user script that removes shorts from the YouTube homepage.
Thank you, MX Shift.
What? What's going on? MX Shift.
Roy, you got a sub.
Crushing it out here.
Roy, you got gifted.
Yep.
I think at this point, everybody in the stream has subs.
I mean, I have a Prime, but...
And maybe some who don't. I don't know.
Hey, I gotta work tomorrow, so I gotta check out.
Well, thanks for joining, Suzerain.
Yeah.
Night.
I actually have no idea how many people are even on the stream right now.
50.
About 55.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's not bad. I'll take that.
One thing.
Also learned...
Go ahead.
I have learned from a couple of streamer friends of mine that if you have lurkers in the chat, they can be there and not be counted for the number of viewers.
Yes.
Really?
So it is.
I did not know that.
Yes, it is worthwhile for every once in a while.
A lurker
Lurkers
check.
just say hi, and that is good enough for it to say, "Oh, you're actually here." This was in response to one of the browsers, Opera GX.
Yeah, that was.
them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because they hid a Twitch stream in their start page.
Whoa, really? I didn't know that.
Yes, and because their start page has all sorts of stuff on it, nobody really noticed. Yeah, if you were logged into Twitch, it would put it almost front and center, and if you weren't, it would hide off in a corner.
That's interesting.
Huh. And they got beat pretty badly because they were juicing numbers on their own stream.
That's wild. I did not know that.
So, since I don't want to start a new print at 12:40 at night, I think what's up, Squire 0412? Thanks for joining us. First time chat. The next question is, now that I've got everybody's attention for a second, what are we doing next week? What do we want to work on? Or rather, I guess the different question is not what are we doing next week on Twitch, but rather what should get priority on YouTube and what should get priority on Twitch with respect to the room.
Well, I mean, you said that you had to work on the LGP.
So yeah, the LGP is going to be that's a main series video. Okay. So there's a couple big ticket items in here that are taking priority on YouTube. LGP 21 is one of them. Centurion is one of them because we're in the middle of that. That's been the thing forever. Bowmim and Jail are obviously going to be main stuff. If there's small things on the Jail that are not really worth filming, we can do that, like, slide it out, do cable management in the back, and start doing like the tedious job of cataloging what goes where and trying to figure out how everything gets wired up. That stuff is not really worth filming for the YouTube. I think for the Jail, the primary things we're going to film for that are like the heavy, big milestones with it. But other than that, things can shift depending on what we want to work on. I'm thinking that the TI 980 may not be as interesting on YouTube as it would be on, say, something like Twitch. Same with the HP oscilloscope below it. There's the Bausch & Lomb spectrophotometer. That needs to be fully reverse engineered. What do you got?
You can do the typewriter.
The typewriter for... I got like...
The Bendix.
Oh, the Bendix. Yeah. So the Bendix, interesting talking about the Bendix. The only things that are getting filmed on the Bendix up to the point of when we start turning AC on is going to be the drum. Everything else is something that we've already done once, so there's no need to film it. It'll just be something that happens slowly in the back. Oh, and paint. But paint is also not something that we can do starting at 9 o'clock at night. So that doesn't particularly matter.
But the typewriter seems like a good one because it's mostly mechanical and.
Yeah, so we can. So if you want to talk about mostly mechanical stuff, we can dig through the typewriter and the Bendix. There's the ASR33 teletype that's connected to the N980. So if we want to work on the 980, that's going to be the TI 980 plus the ASR33. There's also small tedious stuff that we can do on the NCR, and so that way we're primarily filming milestones on the NCR. So I think for the NCR and for the Jail, I think it's going to be like filming heavy hitting milestones, but at less frequent intervals. And for things like the LGP21 and the Centurion, it's going to be filming the whole process, beginning to end in a much more detailed build-up.
Right.
So yeah, the Bendix typewriter is definitely a possibility. The TI 980 with the ASR33 is a possibility. Poking and prodding around the NCR Computronic typewriters, definitely a possibility. I do want to save all the vacuum tube work for the channel because I think that's something that fits into the YouTube category pretty well. The PDP 1144 needs rewire work. That was something I wanted to ask him at Shift if he thought that. I don't know if he's still in here, but if he thought if we had enough space to put, I don't remember how much space we had back there, but if we had enough space to put another 30 amp twist lock behind the PDP, or do I need to move stuff?
I think stuff the way.
Yeah,
he's
I think so.
in the. Oh no, there he is.
I probably end of that, so I have a twist lock behind the PDP.
You were garbled.
That sounds very crazy.
Gibberish I've heard.
It sounded like you're FM on an AM radio. Very, very garbled. Weird. Something twist lock connector.
I had walked away, and
there you go.
I only caught part of it. Part of a twist lock behind the PDP.
Yeah, so we put a twist lock, but it ended up like behind the printer. But it would be nice to get another one of those PDUs, and they're on eBay for like $40, $50. So to get another one of those PDUs behind the PDP, that way I could remotely trigger the PDP on and off using the Molex connectors on it. But that means I need another 30 amp twist lock. And so I was like, do you remember if we put enough slack, or if there is enough slack to put another 30 amp twist lock midway down the stream?
I don't remember, but you could always just move the box that's at the far corner behind or by the jail in a little bit to make some slack.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking I was probably going to have to do. So yeah, probably for the PDP-11, that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another twist lock down there with another one of those deck PDUs hanging on the wall. And then I can run a little toggle switch out to the front of the PDP-11 that I can hit that brings AC up for absolutely everything.
It's not a bad idea. You might want to think about power sequencing though, because that'll be a heck of a hit.
For the PDP-1144, it's not as big of a deal because when you bring AC up for the 1144, all that happens with that is that you start generating your 300 volt DC, but that's not actually being regulated to turn the 1144 on or whatnot. That's all done with the key switch on the front. So there's that's almost no amperage there. So you kick the PDU on, you get very little into the 1144 itself, but the Fujitsu hard drive will spin up. And then that's it. So it's like Fujitsu comes up by itself, and then you turn the 1144 on by key, which sequences it later. And then the only other big thirsty thing in there will be the FPS, and that'll have its own power switch. So the PDU is really just making or breaking AC to the systems.
And that PDU, we opened the one that's there behind the Centurion. It's a big contactor. It's got breakers on it, and it's a big contactor. So it could probably even take everything turned on and being hit all at once.
I think that's
and then the upstream power. The upstream power is a clean panel into a 100 amp service, so it's fine.
And I'm not expecting the 1144 and FPS combo to pull more than about 20 to 25 amps. I think, it would be enough to pop a 15 amp breaker, but I don't think it's going to be enough to overload the PDU or overload our 30 amp breaker.
Okay.
So what's up? What's up, offensive username? So what's about it here? We're just hanging out and chatting because it's winding down to the end of the night. But we did some 3D printing earlier, and we took a look at some sublimation pump control stuff. So I have learned more about how to 3D print today than I have ever known in my life. So that was fun. And now we're just chatting about what are we working on next week on the Twitch stream, and rather what are good priority projects for the Twitch stream and good priority projects for the YouTube.
Mm-hmm. What in the world?
Yeah, so I'm kind of leaning towards the 980 as being a good project for the Twitch stream, because that's the 980 itself plus the ASR 33 plus the rack if we ever want to change or upgrade the rack, and the HP 1217B oscilloscope. So that's like a pretty wide-ranging, different collection of projects that are all tied into the same rack that need work anyways. And I'm not sure how those would come off on the main channel, especially considering how many projects need to be on the main channel.
Mm-hmm.
So, because on the main channel, I want to finish up the TMS 900 homebrew as quick as possible so that I can start getting into UE2. Then we have the LGP21 that needs to be done before VCF Southwest. We've got the drum recoding project. We've got the BOMIM that'll bleed into the JOL eventually. Then we've got the NCR Computronic and the Centurion. So we've got like 6 or 7 projects for the main channel. Trying to shoehorn the TI 980 into the middle of that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's a definite possibility. The Bausch & Lomb spectrophotometer, we may reverse engineer that one night if we get tired of TI 980 stuff. And yeah, like I said, on the JOL, I think we could probably wheel it out one of these days and just like take stock of everything that we have, because that's a not a very fun thing to film, but it'll give us an idea of what parts I need to buy. So that way when we get going. For the BOMIM, I've got a new vacuum pump for it that I got to, not necessarily rebuild, I just got to make sure that it's functional. And then I need to build the computer into the desk, but that's what I'm doing the week after next on the YouTube channel. Say the rack we used at TI Stafford was not unlike the one you have, except ours was full height. The only other 980 I worked with did imaging on an early MRI in a hospital. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, the 980 seems like it was much more a scientific and research computer than the 990 was. So I would love to get a slightly taller rack for this and slip the Diablo 30 in there. I think it's got to be a 14 or 15U rack, and I currently have a 12U rack or something like that. I'm off by just like 3U. It's really close. But I think the 980 with the oscilloscope and the Diablo would be an awesome mix. And then now we get into applied computing. This is kind of a fun question that I wanted that I kind of want to ask. So the applied computing for the PDP 1173 is obviously the BOMIM, because that's the machine that it came with. So what is the application for the rest of the machines in the room? I have an idea for the PDP 1144, which is going to have the FPS unit on it, and that is seismic imaging. Because that's something that I can do to feed data into it that doesn't take up space inside the room, because that's like literally putting explosives in the ground outside. And since it's Texas, I'm in a unique situation where I can get explosives.
Yep.
Little did we realize that all of a sudden Usagi Electric was going to turn into Mythbusters at some point.
Info.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I figure I'm not doing it right if I haven't gotten a visit from a 3-letter agency yet. So.
Where's Jamie Hyneman when you need him?
Yeah. Here, I got something for you that might actually work in your favor then, Usagi. This is a seismometer made out of a pressure sensor and a half of a hula hoop. Basically.
Oh, that's cool.
It just works off a water hammer.
Oh, that's really smart. Yeah. So like I want to do, because the FPS 100 is like the perfect machine for doing Fourier transforms, right? And then what is seismic imaging if not a bunch of Fourier transforms, right?
Mhm.
So I think it would be awesome to like set off an explosion with a couple of sensors in the ground and then do a Fourier transform and get a really rudimentary homemade seismic image of my backyard, which would be hilarious, I think. So that's a good application for the 1144. We have a good application for the 1133. The Centurion needs no application because it's apparently always going to break.
Oh, yeah. I need to watch that video.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's broken. But the Centurion, like the I mean, the Centurion, I would like to have some kind of application for the Centurion, but the problem is that like you know we have the proper application for it, which is the general ledger, and that's like Snorris Borealis over here. So we gotta come up with a better application for it.
Well, for the Bendix, you have a pretty long driveway. You could calculate how level it is and all that. You know, actually do something that.
Well, yeah.
The
So
other one
the official application for the Bendix would be like doing cut and fill programs. Yeah. So the Bendix, the Bendix is kind of an interesting one. I kind of want to push it out of its comfort zone and get it into. What if we tried to do similar type of scientific or laboratory calculations as the like 1144 and the 1173, but it's 1956, right?
Oh.
I bought this Bausch and Lomb. We'll see if I can get the camera to point at it, just right there. So this Bausch and Lomb spectrophotometer, which is kind of like it's a desktop size spectrometer from the 50s. It's got a couple of vacuum tubes inside.
One of those.
Yeah, this is like very early first gen stuff from Bausch
Yeah, it's got
and
the
Lomb.
color wheel filter and all that.
Yeah, well, that's a prism. So this one doesn't have the color wheel filter. It's got like an actual just prism that you're moving around.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is beautiful inside. But I would like to write software for the G15 that that kind of directs you on how to use the spectrophotometer. That's like, turn to this wave number, set intensity to this, input absorbance value, right? And you do that for a bunch of different places, and you build up a spectra within the memory of the G15, and then it plots that spectra on the G15 plotter, which I would have to get from Bob. But I think he's got 2 or 3 of those things. So I might be able to restore 2 of them, send one back to him, and keep one down here. And then, have the G15 Bausch and Lomb spectrophotometer combination doing essentially the same thing as the PDP 1173, but doing it 30 years before the 1173.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the application world that I'm thinking about for the G15.
Didn't the G15 have, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I've read the pamphlet, it had like a scientific adjunct, like an advanced processing unit?
Yeah, so it had the DA1, which was a differential analyzer add-on. It is physically larger than the G15 and pulls as much power as the G15.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
So Bendix actually made 2 different vacuum tube based differential analyzers. The add-on for the G15 is a fully digital differential analyzer, which is a little insane to think about. But then they made a standalone differential analyzer that didn't require the G15, and it is massive. And I have no idea what's going on inside of it. I forgot what the name of it was too.
I didn't even know they made the second one.
Yeah, I only know that they made the second one because I was looking for documentation on the first one and found the wrong documentation. But as far as we know, none survive.
Not even the original. Okay.
Yeah, we think, like, rumor was that Living Computer Museum had a DA1. But if they did, then that likely ended up at Lonnie Mim's collection, which is kind of a black box at the moment. We don't really know much about what Lonnie Mim's collection is like and what he has hiding out in warehouses. So if there is a surviving DA1, it would be in that dude's collection, but we don't know of any other surviving ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of a shame, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
The standalone one I've never even seen a picture of one, so like I don't even know if they built it, but we found a brochure. So now for the NCR Computronic, that's a weird one, man. That's going to be a fun thing to bring up, but I have absolutely no idea if there'll be any application that we can use
on
for
them.
it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It is a
payroll for your staff.
Yeah, payroll for your staff.
For me, my own payroll. Right, because the Computronic is kind of a weird machine in that, like, it does one thing and that's it. Like, it's meant to do a singular thing and nothing else. So the question now becomes, is that singular thing worth doing? Or do we try to modify / hack it because we're restless, insane people into doing something else?
I bet you ledgers.
Yeah, it's like it's an electronic. So the documentation or the brochure that we found for it called it an electronic invoicing system.
Yeah.
Essentially a glorified version of a spreadsheet machine.
Yeah, it's an automatic calculator that prints for you. It's meant to be that you can automatically set up your tabs. You know, like, think of a standard invoice and how they have it columned. That's all it does. That's a single goal in life: pass butter.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a ton of complexity going on for something that would be as seemingly simple as that, because there were competitors that didn't have 50 or 70 vacuum tubes in it, or however many it's got. I think Thermal Dragon counted them, but it's like a lot of tubes. So, like, I think even Bob has a Burroughs that is pretty much same era, looks the same, but doesn't have the big vacuum tube box. It's like purely electromechanical. So what is different about the Computronic that required, 50 vacuum tubes of logic?
Well, I think they're doing weird tricks. Like, thinking about it, I think they're doing weird tricks with both that really weird cross-point memory and just how they're interfacing with that in general, because it is basically a register. It's a cash register that they've modified into being an adding calculator. So
yeah, and retired front over on Twitch is saying that the NCR can add and subtract and likely use addition only for multiplication. Yeah, because it's effectively a full-fledged computer. I mean, it's got calculating circuits in it. It has some form of memory in that relay matrix. It has input and output. Like, technically, that's a computer. But yeah, I'm curious.
You can use it to calculate something like Fibonacci with it.
Yeah, like that would be really cool to get it to print out Fibonacci. So like that's the question with the NCR is like how can we misuse it to do cool stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
That's yeah. You don't have a lot of memory though. You have bits of memory.
Thermal Dragon, are you sure about those numbers? 146 tubes? That seems way more than it's actually got in there.
He might be correct. There is a lot in there.
I mean, now you got me
Unless
curious.
you're looking at the wrong. It could be the later version that they're looking at.
All right,
Unless
well,
they've.
You guys get to watch me lay on the ground here for a minute.
They could have been doing the whole Beatles. You know, I counted all the holes in the paper today.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95-ish on the bottom row. Actually, I think it's 94. And then 5, 10, 15, 20,
the
25. I think 146 is correct. So that's a huge amount of tubes. I mean, that's almost as many as the Bendix. No, it's not. I mean, the Bendix has 460, but 146 tubes is a ton.
How many tubes does UE1 have?
Like 300.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's because I'm a bad designer. Like UE1 didn't need 300. I could have done it. Now, knowing what I know now, I could do UE1 in half the number of tubes. So I could probably do UE1 in about 150 tubes.
Well, that's just now it's time for UE 1.5. Clearly.
So that's a fun conversation because I would be a lie if I said I hadn't thought about that. UE2 is so much larger in scope than UE1, particularly because we're starting to coalesce on an idea that I really like. That I kind of want to do. Like this is the part of my brain that is like it's torn between doing the right thing and doing the fun thing. I kind of want to do like a rehash of UE1. Yeah, like UE 1.5, right? Only make it, change the architecture enough such that it is expandable or interfaceable with peripherals, but bring the tube count down as minimally as possible. Tighten up the instruction. Instead of 16 instructions, tighten it down to 8 instructions. Do like a minimal UE 1.5 that is actually equally as capable as UE 1, but like explore other things with it. Instead of paper tape, could we use mag tape or something like that, right? So build it with like a stipulation of, it has to be less than 120 tubes or something like that. And kind of really push the design ideas, go up to higher voltages, and all of the things that I want to use on UE2, experiment with on like UE 1.5 is what I want to do. But then my brain is just like, just start building UE2. Like at this point, just do the big thing.
Oh, no. I see. So the fun thing is 1.5. The right thing is 2. All right. Well, you're not asking for votes, but I'll vote for 1.5 just because it doesn't seem wrong. And if it's not wrong, then it must be right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw the option of UE 0.5 relays. Lots and lots of relays.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do another relay thing as well, right? But the reality is that I could never do it as good as Dipdot. Dipdot is crushing it. Doing the videos are if you want to see a relay computer, go check out Dipdot. He's like that's my new favorite channel on YouTube. He's also on our Discord, so you can ping him if you want to talk to him about it. But he's a super nice guy. But yeah, it's like I could do a relay computer, but it would never be as good as what Dipdot's doing. And I don't want try to infiltrate that same space that he's currently in. He's got a really good thing going, and I want to see him absolutely crush it from here on out. His newest video did like 80,000 views, so he's apparently crushing it more than I'm crushing it on YouTube lately. Yeah, so relays are an interesting idea. Like a hybrid would be interesting, like UE1 but with relay memory. The difficult thing is that relays are like dog slow. UE1 as it sits right now could outrun relay memory, because I chug it along at about 130 instructions per second. But we've had it up over 200.
Maybe your Dota says do UE1 in Verilog.
I think Reese Weatherly, not in Verilog, but he's built UE1 with ROMs and something. I mean, it was like 3 boards. I think it's 3 pretty small boards is what he built it UE1 as. It was really well designed, really cool. So if we're doing ICs, Reese Weatherly's got that one on lockdown. So if I did a UE 1.5, it would have to be. So it would have to be 2 things. Like it would have to one be everything that I learned about the UE1 and all the mistakes that I made, and eliminate all of that, and expand it in the process. So like tighten up the design, everything you need, nothing you don't. So that way I can spend more energy on expanding out the functionality and making it a better design. And then 2, it would have to be a test bed for a lot of the things that I want to test out on UE2. Higher voltages, double triodes, new construction technique. So all of the things that I ultimately want to put onto UE2, UE 1.5 would have to be a good test bed for it. But then my brain, again, says at that point, just build UE2, man. Like, you're gonna if you do this, you're gonna delay UE2 by like 1.5 to 2 years, however long it takes you to build UE 1.5. And UE2 probably can't survive a delay of 2 years, right? Like, I need to be on UE2 now, because I've got the idea, I like the design. Like, let's just get to it.
And why is that not as fun?
Because for 2 reasons. One, it scares me. I do like the UE2 design, but it is 110% outside of my comfort zone. So there's like so much space for failure there, like very bad dramatic failure. And there's a lot of aspects of UE2 that I can't decide upon until I knock out some of the earlier aspects of it. So I can't start doing like the fun part of design on like, figuring out all of the logic and how I'm going to lay it out and what the overall look of it's going to be. I can't start doing any of that until I figure out what the rotating drum memory on UE2 is going to look like. Now, the reason that UE1 is more fun, or UE 1.5 seems more fun, is because it's like, it's right in that comfort zone. It's everything that I already know and have already learned on UE1. I'm just perfecting it. So it's kind of like the difference between perfecting a piece of music that you've played a bunch versus trying to learn a brand new piece of music that you in a genre that you're not normally in, right? So like both can be very fun, but they're very fun in completely different ways.
Thermal Dragon brings up using CRT memory. And I have a fascinating idea of coating a drum in electroluminescent paint and using LEDs and photoresistors.
That's yeah, that's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
CRT memory is a tough one, simply because it's like, even when it was being built by the people who were at the top of their game, it was still finicky. It didn't work very well. So if it's being built by like a hack in the garage, i.e. me, there's a much higher chance of failure. But the reason that I'm going with drum is that it makes the most sense, because of all the different memory types that were used in vacuum tube computers, drum became the most common because it was the best. Also, it coincides very nicely with the drum recoding project for the G15. So all the stuff that I learned on the G15 can apply to the UE2, and all the stuff I learned on the UE2 can apply to the G15. The two kind of support each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
So-
say sit down and write down what you want then. Like I assume you already have, but like
Yeah, of course. I got a big long growing text file of UE2 design. Yeah, I just haven't shared any of it on the Discord because it invariably ends up with massive arguments about how the design should be done.
Mike shit is infinite.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's feature creep is the bigger issue. So it's somebody would like to see this particular feature in it, and then I say no, I'm not going to do that, and then they feel slighted or insulted that I didn't want to implement their feature, and it has nothing to do with, I think that it's oftentimes it's a great feature, it's a smart feature, it's a good feature, but it's another feature on top of trying to build a vacuum tube computer from scratch. And if I listen to everybody's feature, the feature creep becomes so intense that the project becomes overwhelming within 3 days, which is exactly what happened the first time I shared UE2 design ideas over on the Discord. And within 3 days, I was pulling my hair out. I hated the project. I was so discouraged that I put it down for a year. And did not come back to it because it burned me out in a week. Like it's kind of crazy. And so when I came back to it, finally, I said, I'm going to talk to one, maybe two people directly that I know have experience with writing programs and software for this type of thing. And doing that meant that it was much easier to bounce ideas back and forth and really hone in on something. And it was very, I didn't have to worry about, hurting their feelings if they said, hey, this might be a good feature. And I went, that's going to triple the number of tubes, and they're like, oh, well, then it's not a nice feature. It goes back and forth a lot easier that way. So that's why UE2 is actually made progress, but nobody's seen the progress. Like I've talked about the progress, but nobody's actually seen it except for 2 people or 3 people. But I say it's progress. It's just a text file that I'm slowly tweaking and adjusting.
Now, back to the original UE1 and the purposes of computers in your room there. You should try it. I think this was bounced around in one of the chats. Make it a light controller, traffic light controller.
Yeah. So if I don't remember which chat we talked about that briefly. I think it might have been the Patreon chat. We talked about what to display at VCF Southwest, and
right, that was it.
Initially, I was going with like a full TI exhibit, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I'm not going to be able to get enough done in time for Southwest for that, because I've got like 8 TI projects and they all need work. But also, man, this is VCF Southwest. It's the only VCF that I'm exhibiting at all year. I got to do something that you would never see at another VCF. I need to be on the same level as that dude that brought the scanning electron microscope. No, I'm not bringing a scanning electron microscope or bring the OJ or anything like that. But I want it to be something of I want somebody to look at what I brought and went, holy crap, this dude's out of his mind, right? And so I had kind of boiled it down to 2 projects, the LGB21 or the UE1, because the UE1 hasn't ever been displayed in public since the second half's been built. I did display just the processor side of it at VCF 2023. That was when it tipped over and smashed half the tubes on it. So I was a little nervous about displaying it, but putting the UE1 on display at VCF I think would be very cool, but it needs to do something, and so the idea was to build a little traffic diorama with a traffic light control, with a traffic light on it, so that way it could control the traffic light, because it kind of harkens back to what the MC14500 was originally meant to do.
I will mention, real traffic lights are not expensive if you can get them on Facebook Marketplace.
The problem is that they're big.
They're light, though. They're extraordinarily light.
Hold on.
Yeah, there's
Hold
nothing.
on. No. But you missed the fun bit. You now have a 3D printer.
No, so if it's UE1, no 3D printed bits. So
a 3D printed, a little 3D printed stoplight is perfectly acceptable.
You can go to AliExpress and get one for about $5, and have like 4.
Yeah,
there's also train set ones.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I'm sure that I could find 1950s era train sets that have traffic lights or something on it that would work fine, because that's what I did for the drive motor for the paper tape reader, was I just used a 1950s era slot car motor.
Well, and it really should be light bulbs and not LEDs as well.
Yes. Yeah, it would have to be incandescent light bulbs, which means that the UE1 would probably need to control thyrotrons that hit relays or something like that. I mean, driving light bulbs is tough. Those things are power hungry.
Yeah, Christmas light bulbs are, a couple, I think 80 milliamp.
I mean, that's still a lot. Like my cathode follower buffers on UE1 produce 8 milliamps.
You could do LEDs.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's up,
LEDs are
2260?
contemporary to the 60s.
Yeah. So if it's UE1 related, it has to be mid to late 1950s. That was the era that I chose. Same for UE2.
Right.
So there's nothing on the UE1 that couldn't have been done in the mid to late 1950s. They're single-sided PCBs. I machined them, but you could totally etch them exactly as they are. Pretty much HP did the same thing in their oscilloscopes. All of the tubes were readily available in the mid to late 1950s. I did use Schottky diodes, but germanium, that's because I didn't want to go out and buy a bunch of germanium diodes. And the Schottkys and germaniums have pretty much the same voltage drop, so you could fill it up with germaniums and it would do pretty much the exact same thing. 24 volt DC supplies were pretty common in the 1950s. I mean, they were like bulky linear jobbies, but they could totally do it. So there's nothing on the UE1 that couldn't have been replicated in the 1950s, which was kind of that stipulation was a double-edged sword. It's what makes, I think, UE1 really unique, but also it meant that I couldn't cheat. Which is why anytime you see anybody do a vacuum tube based homebrew, and there's a couple out there, you always see them. They go, yeah, we did just the processor. The memory is done in silicon, or the memory is this Arduino over here, right?
Yeah, it's what was it, the PDP-8 out of tubes, where it was just like, oh yeah, we did everything except the memory.
Yeah, and actually I've met that guy and talked to him. He's a nice guy, but there's even more cheating going on than you initially realize, because
Really?
he wanted the logic levels the internal logic levels to be the same as the regular PDP-8, and so he uses Zener diodes to bias everything correctly.
Ooh, that's incredibly inefficient.
Yeah, also it's not vacuum tube period correct. By the time Zeners came out, we were already into the mid 1960s.
Was it the 60s?
I think the
Yeah, I
the
guess
Zener
so.
Zener effect was, I think, probably discovered in the 50s, but I think by the time you got to commercially available Zener diodes, you were in the 60s.
Yeah, I gotta think about that. I don't think. Yeah, I think you're right because I don't think I have any equipment that has Zeners until the late '60s, early '70s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Zeners are a little tougher to come across, and he uses one on every single vacuum tube.
Oh wow, that's also expensive.
Yeah. So I was like, don't get me wrong, like it's incredibly cool what he pulled off, but I was like, come on, man, you could have done it without the Zeners, and I would have really loved to have seen like period correct core memory, you know.
Yeah, core memory would have been cool, but you could do you can do voltage clamping without a Zener. You don't need a Zener to do that.
Yeah, it's not voltage clamping. He's biasing the cathodes with Zener diodes in some way.
Oh, that's a weird way to. Oh, because he wants the. Okay.
Yeah, because he wanted the voltage levels to be right, so he didn't have the correct negative biasing on the grids or something like that. So he biases the cathodes up with Zeners or something like that. I don't know. It's been like 2 years since I talked to the guy. Yeah.
Diode logic.
Oh, DTL.
Not even DTL.
DDL.
Oh, DRL. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, DRL or DDL is very, very smart. I mean, the G15 is and to an extent the LGP30, or probably the LGP30 more so than the G15, are effectively diode logic machines. The G15, if you open up the doors on it, all of the tube packs are colored. You know, they all got colored handles. All of the red colors are just cathode follower buffers. They're not doing any actual logic. And that's probably half of the tubes in the machine are just for cathode follower buffers. So the large majority of logic in the G15 is done with diode OR gates and diode AND gates. And they only toss a buffer or they only toss an inverter in or when they need it. And then of course you need storage is very hard to do with DDL. So they use flip-flops, vacuum tube flip-flops in the G15. But diode logic was like the go-to in the 1950s, which is why I feel like I could drop the tube count on UE1 by like half. Because when I started UE1, I didn't particularly know a lot about how 1950s vacuum tube design was going. And so I just went, well, NOR gates are universal and I can build a NOR gate pretty easily. So, two diodes and a 6AU6 and I can build a pretty reliable NOR gate. So I just built everything out of NOR gates. And by the time I got like 3/4 of the way through the design, I was like, I could have used so much fewer tubes by just like leaning on DDL, But that was the whole point of UE1 was to learn those things, right? I was never going to learn them by reading a book, so by trying to build something, I learned that stuff in the process, which is kind of the appeal of UE 1.5. Is to
why not make UE 1.5 the bridge to that? Go learn yourself diode logic. Go do yourself a favor and reduce that tube count.
Because now we're right back to where we started, which is that delays UE2 by like 1.5 to 2 years, and that seems like such a shame. We've got a really good UE2 design going on, and UE2 will have to use a lot of diode logic anyways. So everything that we would learn and experience on UE1, we're also going to learn and experience on UE2.
Well, they do a portion of UE1 as like go redo the memory as diode logic or what have you, and find a way to do that. And then you've learned a little piece, and then you can move on to UE2.
UE1 works. I ain't touching it.
Yeah, I totally understood.
Yeah. Nope. UE1 functions. It worked the last time I turned it on. I'm not messing with
it. I have so many things like that where it's just like, I have balanced this perfectly. Don't breathe, move, or fart.
Yep. Yeah. And it's like, it's been off for probably about 2 months, and I'm kind of scared to turn it on again, because if it doesn't work, then I have to fix it. But right now, it works. Because it ran one part. Yeah. All right. So I think next week, maybe we'll pull the TI 980 out and start cleaning it up. I think that can make a fun project for the channel. And we'll see how that goes. That thing is gross inside. But it's complete. Maybe we'll clean it up enough to throw some power into the power supply and see what explodes. But I would really like to see the TI 980 come up. I think it's a very, very cool machine. And it has an ASR 33 that I've been meaning to get to as well, so it's a good opportunity to get into that. But for this week, thank you guys for walking me through 3D printer. I think it all went really, really well. I'm going to turn it off now and exit out of the software, which worked beautifully well.
Congratulations on not burning yourself, or otherwise causing a fire.
Yeah. Yeah. We and the bunny print came out awesome. Like, I am extremely happy with that. Like, if I can get that quality of prints every time, then like, this is a righteous 3D printer. That's really good.
Ender 3 was a very good printer for a long time.
I mean, it's still pretty relevant. Like, that's a tiny little bunny, and it printed really well. I need to print one that's double the size.
Just wait till you get it tuned in, and you're like, man, what I thought was great looks like garbage now.
I don't know. It'd be hard pressed to get it much better than that. The ears could use some tuning, as could the tippy top of the back, but that's a really good print. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it worked well. Now I just need to learn how to like properly 3D model, which I've heard a million different programs for people. Everybody has a different suggestion. Tinkercad versus AutoCAD versus OpenCAD versus FreeCAD versus OpenSCAD.
AutoCAD is a little open your checkbook wide.
Well, no, I think there used to be a student license on AutoCAD for a long while, but I don't know if that's still.
It's subscription and it's not cheap.
Oh.
With
And
all of
you
the
have to actively be a
options-
student.
Yeah, you have to prove you're in college.
What? One of
With all of
the
the options you mentioned.
Yeah, and taking classes. Yeah, relevant classes. They check.
I had a copy of AutoCAD for the deck Rainbow.
Ooh, there you go.
Ooh, that's fun.
So, which one of those options that you just rattled off is the closest in operation to KiCad?
Tinker.
Yeah, although KiCad, even though it has CAD in the name, doesn't really feel like a 3D. Well, it's not a 3D modeling program. It's purely a.
Tinkercad.
It's a 2D modeling program.
No,
Yeah, there you go.
KiCad is EDA. KiCad is specifically EDA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tinkercad, I have heard. I've personally used it like once. Is one of the easier ones you can pick up without knowing anything about CAD and mostly get up and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried learning FreeCAD because my brother swears up and down by it. FreeCAD or OpenCAD? Which one is?
FreeCAD is
FreeCAD.
Yeah,
I think,
FreeCAD is FreeCAD.
FreeCAD is FreeCAD.
Yeah, I tried using
Everybody
it.
thinks
I
with
could not
it.
get around it.
This hasn't been mentioned yet, but even though there is definitely some fraughtness behind the whole, licensing model, SolidWorks actually is kind of remarkably affordable if you do the maker license for it. It's like,
Oh, that's true.
it's like $50. It's $50 a year, and unlike Fusion, where it's like it limits you to like 10 files and a whole bunch of other stupid nonsense you can't do with it, the SolidWorks Maker license basically unlocks the entire program. So it's like it's not as expensive as, I guess, like I was initially led to believe when I started looking at some of that stuff.
And
Okay.
I use Shaper 3D because it is available on the two main platforms that I work on, which is Mac and Windows. It is actually pretty reasonably easy to use.
I mean, I kind of want to learn OpenSCAD because I really like the concept of it.
Yeah.
It is. It is a software package. That's what I will say.
Yeah, but I like the idea that you can be like, that you can just type effectively, like, make a box, attach it to this box, right?
When
how
you
does
get
it-
into some of when you
Never
get into
heard
some
of
of the more
this.
advanced stuff of like, I want to fill it along this line. Like, okay, so I'm going to take a sphere and I'm make a thing around this thing and cut that thing out of the thing. And I got to off, so there's a ledge. Now I got to go nudge. Okay, that's where.
Oh, it's a programming centric CAD.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot of hints from functional programming, but it's a constructive solid geometry solution.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, if you're comfortable with that, I mean, that's almost at that point like using 2D CAD and inputting all the coordinates.
So, when I use OpenSCAD, I have a workflow that starts with working in a 2D CAD, like LibreCAD, and then I take DXFs and I bring them into OpenSCAD with the import call and extrude and twist those around. And that does me pretty good.
I mean, I wouldn't mind
complex
a
shapes.
2D based CAD program where you just draw in 2D the whole time. Like when I did the paper tape reader for the UE1, I didn't even use a CAD program. What I did was I drew out I drew out the X, Y, and Z shapes in Draw.io of all things, with measurements and everything, and then I just machined it by hand. Yep.
I mean,
Either way-
CAD. I mean, yeah, you're tired. I can tell.
Yeah, that's something we'll think about in the future. The 3D printer works. That was the most important bit. It works really well too. So thank you all for that. I'm going to start shutting things down over here. We'll go ahead and turn this guy off. And since it is now beyond 1:30, I am fading rapidly. So thank you all so much for joining, and we'll see you next week.